Wai Long Chan. This guy is a grinder. He's made many, many final tables in the Triton Super High Roller Series. Good to see him in this main event. So, actually, in Montenegro, it seems like he's had 4 final tables here. And he's cashed so many of them, no limit hold'em. So he's a no limit hold'em genius, Wai Long Chan. So it looks like Larson 3-bet Wai Long Chan, and Wai Long Chan's just like, nope, I'm gonna call you Jack 10. Larson does flop top pair king kicker.
Check.
Think you're Larson here. When you 3-bet hand like king 9, this is as good as it flops to get. You're only worried about a set, which is so unlikely.
12,000. 12,000.
Dan Larson. That's 12,000. Top pair, second kicker.
I don't think Wai Long Chan's gonna want to continue here out of position. If he had some backdoor heart draw, it'd be much more interesting, but maybe he just thinks his opponent doesn't have it. Wow, he's actually going to float here out of position. Actually probably thinks that Larson just has a hand like king queen that's just going to give up. Pretty interesting. Turn card is a 7, so Wai Long Chan does pick up inside straight draw, and he's hoping it goes check check. Larson should feel pretty confident in betting again. He can get called by worse generally. He can represent 2 diamonds himself, like king queen of diamonds, ace x of diamonds. These hands would definitely bet this turn card, and he probably would get called by a hand like 10-9, pocket 8s, pocket 6s, and that's why he's going to continue betting here with top pair. So Wai Long Chan actually put himself in a tricky spot by check calling his flop. He's picked up a draw, but ends up having to fold because it doesn't have the initiative.
Views. At some point.
Final heads up?
Yeah, that would be nice. Excuse me. Ah, yes. Thank you.
So we're going to
am I
say
doing?
bye-bye to Makita as he gets moved to the outer table.
Hope you're giving me a nice chair. Nice
So we do have a Larson fact here. It says Larson was a big hero in World War II, but after the war he was frozen down to be unfrozen in the Third World War. But after a money shortage, the freezing company, he got unfrozen in 2017. Now he's a big poker player.
Why does it sound like you just told me the story of one of those Avengers movies?
It's close. It's close to an Avenger.
It's
That's
pretty close.
That's from Magnu. Thank you, Magnu.
5. 1.
Timothy Adams getting massaged.
Call.
Gonna make the call.
Heads up.
The Queen Jack 6, 2 spades. Ooh, top set for Wai Long Chan. You got top set on a very drawy board. It's definitely worth betting. No reason to slow play. You wouldn't get called by like a jack.
My brain is
Spades.
still in short deck mode. Ugh.
Well, this technically is a short deck kind of.
Right?
Hands. So you got to protect against those straight draws. They got so much
Yeah,
equity
right?
against you. You're like 96%. Doesn't seem right. So Adam's got bottom pair.
Oh, the money is for him.
Generally speaking, when we defend this in the big blind, you will continue.
Fold.
But actually, something just clicked in his head. Was like, I think you got it, and he made the correct fold.
Avis Man asks, can they entry until tomorrow? Unfortunately,
What is the answer, Jeff?
yes, they can.
Cool.
Can I have the walk fried rice number 8? Yes.
I want walk fried rice.
Oh, guess what I had for dinner today?
Walk fried rice.
Correct.
Everyone's getting walk fried rice with me.
I can get you plain rice.
I'll take it. I'm.
Unflavored, dropped on the floor rice.
Oh no! What is it on the floor of your hotel room right now? So yeah, it looks like, according to the schedule, the start of day 2 will have 2 levels, and then
Raise.
there'll be the end of late registration.
Fold. Fold.
So I would expect that number of 34 to go way up, maybe even double by the time registration closes.
Fold.
And Larson with pocket 10s, the World War II hero.
Fold.
So it sounds like Bryn Kenny has sat down. Event number 2 champion. 1.4 million. That's pretty good. So as we learn about Larson, he's got pocket 10s, the best hand.
Bet 4,000. Fold.
Bets very small, wins that pot.
Good old Dan Larson.
Long Chan's got pocket 8s, the start of an open. Now, this is still the early stage of the tournament where everyone's really deep stack, except Greenwood.
Fold.
He's going to fold ace-10.
Fold. Fold.
Wiley Long Chan raising to 6,000 with pocket 8s.
Fold.
Easy defend, Frido. Ace-6 of hearts.
Give me change one more.
Now, this is that type of game where players just miss flop so much more. Pocket pairs play pretty good.
Heads up.
Jack 10, and those pocket 8s are playing pretty good still.
Wylon might bet here just to kind of protect his hand. He's going to check, slow down. Turn card is the 9. Sergio Ido probably looking to just check fold. Wylong could bet here. He could check. You can see it both ways. He is going to take the free card. River's the straight. This actually might get Sergio Ido to consider betting to move his opponent off a hand like Ace King. Ace High does have some showdown value, so he does check.
Excuse me? Excuse me?
Wylong just trying to decide what to bet.
Bet 10. Fold.
Always fun. Always fun when you get there. Start off not loving the flop, but slowly work your way to a hand you can confidently value bet.
Yeah, this game is so much different. It's like no all-in pre-flops as much, a lot of grinding, but like the bluffs are are really fun hands to watch post flop when like both players don't really have too much and just like bet shove. You know, these bet shove in short deck doesn't happen as much just because stacks are a little bit more shallow. It's a very pre-flop heavy game. So some of the differences.
Call.
37 entries.
Call. Call. Call.
This man, David Peters, in Jeju, he put in $1 million to win $30,000 US. So let's see what he wants to do here in Montenegro.
You know where you make your real money, though? Comps.
That's true.
He put $1 million through the system. That's a lot of comps. He can probably go to Jeju anytime he wants.
That's true.
Jungle says, can we comment on David Peters' picture for the animation? I think it's hilarious. Oh,
Heads up.
yeah, it's pretty funny.
Check.
Leon checks. His king high. Peters checks back. The ace high. The turn is an ace. In my opinion, a pair of aces is one of the best pairs you can get.
So is he going to bet for value? Is going to keep checking, play tricky. River card is the 9. Why long? King Jack. I think if this gets checked to Peters one more time, he's going to definitely fire for value. Trying to get called by a 6, a 9, a king high occasionally.
You gotta bet it. You gotta do it. Just gotta bet it. I bet 1 chip.
Which chip though? It could be a 25K chip,
A 1.
a 100,
No, a 1.
a 1.
A 1.
So you're the type of guy that gets a knife and starts cutting
That's
the
right.
chips.
I just want to bet this little piece.
9,000.
Bet 9,000.
All right, I guess 9,000's fine too.
I think Wylong normally would just fold King Jack, but there's a chance he'll call because he's thinking, why didn't David Peters bet to turn or flop with an ace? And you can see he's reaching for chips and makes the call here. Go ahead and see the bad news. So he had the assumption that David Peters would bet the turn with an ace by now. And that's why he made the call. But now that he sees the ace, he's going to have to make the counter adjustment. Like, okay, David Peters can be very tricky with some of his lines. And therefore, maybe I need to adjust my calling ranges based on, you know, what you see on Showdown. Showdown's very important in No Limit Hold'em. Of course, you could watch a stream and notice these things as well. If you don't make the proper counter adjustments in this game for such high stakes, people are going to have a big edge on you.
I feel like watching streams is a great way to learn.
No, I totally
You have,
agree.
you
Like,
can use
I've
Notion online
commentated so
next
many
to it.
hours here, and
Yeah, thank you.
I didn't play much short deck ever. But when I first played short deck, I actually felt reasonably comfortable just because of how much I watched, you know, the best players play.
Call. Call. Raise 55.
Pocket Thames.
Call.
Thames. Tim's?
Call.
Pocket Tim's for Tem.
Call.
Makes it 5,500. I do with Jack 9 on the button. That's a fun one.
Heads up.
Look how much fun Timmy's having. 8, 9, 10, Jack. Straight draw for Ido.
Thank you.
Set of 10s for Tim Adams. We should see some more go into the middle. Tim does not bet his set. Now, you know what I say, Randy? Always bet your
Your
sets.
sets.
Now, I'm sure if Tim Adams isn't betting his set, it's for a reason.
Bet 12.
I can see him actually consider a check raise or a check call. You really can go both ways. Depends on what he thinks Sergio Idol has here. If you can see his cards, he'd want to go for a check raise. He sees the little bit the bigger sizing from Ido, so that might make him think he's got a stronger piece. Man, that masseuse is really working him, so it might be ruining his train of thought. He is going to make the call here.
No, it's putting him in the zone. Spade on the turn.
That's like the dream card because he was just hoping no 7, no 9, so I can disguise my hand. I think Sergio Ido might actually consider betting here because when his opponent takes this check call line on this flop, it looks like 7, 8, 6, 7, like these kind of like weaker hands that can't really handle the heat. He definitely doesn't put Adams on a set. That's why he keeps betting right now.
25,000 the bet. And Adams has the near nuts on this board, so we just see like a smooth call here again.
I think if he wants to represent weakness, he needs to call. If he raises here, it does look pretty darn strong because...
I'm not even talking about what it looks like. Like, what can your opponent call you with?
Yeah, I mean, besides a set or a straight, it just seems so unlikely, right?
Yeah.
When you're holding 2 10s in your hand, it's unlikely your opponent has top pair, right? Because it's just only 1 10 left in the deck. Adams is going to go for a check raise, it seems. And I think the reason he's considering this is that the spade on a turn, a lot of people, they turn those extra outs.
Okay, right, and keep blasting. Sure, that makes sense.
So it looks like maybe Adams check called like queen, jack, turn to spade draw, going for a check raise. Because a lot of players actually don't like to check call out of position with a draw because say goes your opponent's bluffing a better high card hand, goes check, check, you just lose. They like to be aggressive. So it does make sense why he's going for the check raise now. I think if it was a 3 without the spade,
he just calls.
He just calls.
Right. And, it's not the hand that he's thinking about right now, but Ido does have one of those types of hands. It's not the spade draw, but it is an open-ended straight draw. And this raise is for a significant portion of Sergio's stack. He can't really call. Yep, folds.
Yeah, so that hand actually could have played very differently had maybe Adams bet the flop or he just check called. Regardless, get those chip counts.
Feature table chip counts, obviously a lot more players than this out in the field. Timothy Adams, after winning that last pot, continues to be top of the heap here. Did just overtake Linus Lurliger as the chip boss at this table. Very deep stacks here for Timothy, Linus, and Dan. Shortest stack at the table is Sam Greenwood with 63,000. Everyone else doing just fine in this tournament, just sort of splashing around, no need to play huge pots. Let somebody else do the rebuying.
Race.
Number 9.
So Linus Love is going to open up the ace-queen. Greenwood, pocket 10s. He's only got 23 big blinds, so imagine he's going to shove from the big blind.
How many people played the 10K?
No, I don't.
Doesn't have many chips left.
I feel like it's like 8 cast or so.
Well, so actually, Linus,
Could be
I mean,
wrong. I think
Greenwood makes it 20,000. Actually, it looks like his stack size is a little bit wrong. Seems like Those blue chips should be 25 apiece, so he actually is playing a deeper stack than it looks. He's got 3 blue chips. Those are each 25,000.
All in.
Linus does shove. Quick call from Greenwood. So Greenwood is at risk here. To be bust, he will get the option to rebuy. Here comes the flop. It's a queen high flop, so Linus does pair his queen, but Greenwood can hit an ace or a 9, 31%. Turn card
Whoa.
is the 6, so now he's got a heart draw, 32%. River card is the 3 of hearts, so Greenwood will get the full double.
Yeah. Is it?
Looks like Greenwood sitting on about almost starting stack. Action is on Adams, is going to start with a fold. Starting stack is 250,000. Let me see who else is out in the field. I can get that data for you. Eric Seidel's out there. Matthias Eibinger. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Can you guys guess who's out? Who else is out there? Your favorite player, Tom Dwan, is in the field. Confirmed. Linus does flop his top pair. Sergio Idol with the nut flush draw. 4,000 chip bet. Very small. Linus might check raise, might check call. Gonna go for the check call. Turn card is the deuce, a complete blank, but Ido actually does pick up a pair. He does beat better ace highs. Sergio trying to decide if he should value bet against the ace high type hand or is he up against a 7 or 4 too often. Does go check, check. River card is the deuce. The running deuce is very hidden. And I think Linus might consider value betting here against ace high or like pocket sixes. So Linus is trying to decide what to bet. $23,500 is a pot-sized bet. I think the pot-sized bet might make Sergio Idol just call here rather than raise for value. Does make it seem like he's representing a 4. Linus trying to make it look like he's on a spade draw or a straight draw bluff. So action is on Sergio Idol, trying to decide if he should raise or just call. Most certainly he's not folding.
Come on.
Makes the call. So Linus down to 444,000. So this tournament is getting bigger and bigger. New faces joining as time goes by. Uh-oh, another player is out in the field. You guys can guess who. Daniel Cates, Jungle Man, just joined the tournament. David Peters is going to open up under the gun. Timothy Adams got ace-4 in the big blind. Probably going to defend. Players do defend their big blind a lot more because of the big blind ante. And of course these small raises. So same as I can, but I think whoever bets it first will win this pot. David Peters is going to continuation bet into the big blind. He's going to chip up. Larson's got queen 10 off soon to hijack. Looks like he's going to open up this pot. 38 entries, 7 players have busted, but I'm sure most of those players have re-entered.
This card has a couple marks.
Peter's going to lay down the dominated hand.
Barman, new back, please.
This is event number 5. Timothy Adams is table chip leader. It's possible he's the chip leader of a tournament. Greenwood at the bottom, but did double up those pocket 10s against ace queen. Linus in second place. Going to play a few more levels for today. Not sure the exact number. I believe this tournament is scheduled to be a 3-day event. So this will be the first 3-day event. That would mean that blinds structure is a bit longer. So we are playing 1-hour blind levels, unlimited re-entry, 3-day tournament.
Who spotted it? Usually the guy who does it. BBs.
Linus Love's got pocket queens, gonna open it up, try to get some action. Should probably get a walk all around. 6-3 offsuit pretty bad, so he's gonna fold. Tan Schwen is also in the field. Jason Kuhn, Michael Watson. Let's find out who's in for the most bullets. Was that interesting of you guys? Who's in for the most bullets right now? Well, seems like it's just 2 bullets. Well, Dwyer's in for 2. Paul Faw's in for 2. Divorce for 2. I think David Peters. Sergio idle into small blind, king 6 of hearts. He's going to complete. Wylon Chan's got ace 4 suited, and he's going to bump it up. Makes it 10,000 or 9,000. So we are going to go heads up to the flop here, blind versus blind. Wylon Chan is the pre-flop raiser, pairs his ace. And it's just going to be a bet and take. See who else is in the field. Isaac Haxton, the runner-up of 2, event number 1 and event number 3. He's in the tournament. Peter Jetton finished 3rd place. He's in the tournament as well. Jesus Cortez. Eric Seidel. Seems like he's in it. Foxen, Sontheimer. Pretty much everyone you've seen and more is playing this main event. Greenwood is going to open up pocket 7s. Sergio idle 9, Jack suited. So Sergio idle does make the best hand on a pretty scary board. Scary for both players. Greenwood is going to check. Idle might want to try to take this to showdown. Trying to decide if he should turn his hand into a bluff by betting the flop. And he is going to do just that. 14,000. I think this bet has the intention of multi-barreling on reasonable turn cards to try to get like hands like King Queen, Queen Jack, Queen 10 to fold.
Will complete the hand draw. Otherwise, raise lines 1,500, 3,000, 3,000, 15, 3, 3,
Blinds are going up. 1,500, 3,000 with a 3,000 big blind ante. We are playing from Montenegro at the Maestral Resort and Casino. Timmy Adams, King Queen. Solid hand. Start with the raise. Pocket aces for Larson in the small blind.
How much is it?
Looks like he is going to put the re-raise in. 21,000. Now Adams did raise in very early position. Larson 3-betting from small blind, so this is perceived to be a bit stronger than normal. Playing about 85 big blinds effective. And King Queen here is a trouble spot. I'm not sure if these two have played enough with each other. Looks like he is going to take the call here. Thinks that Larson's been a bit too active. See a flop in position. Larson flops top set on a 3-diamond board. Does have a lot of incentive to bet because it doesn't want to give a free card to a diamond. Adams has a 1% chance of winning this pot. So it looks like he actually bet 32,000? Not 7,500. It's a bigger bet. The blue chip is 25,000 apiece. Yellows are 5,000, reds are 1,000, and purples are 500. $125,000 US buy-in. Event number 5, Nolan Holdem main event. Adam's gonna open up king, queen suited. Pocket tens for Larson. He's been pretty active lately. We'll see if he decides to 3-bet or just call here. And he is gonna play it slow. Thinks they're pretty deep stack. And Greenwood picks up pocket aces in the small blind. So Greenwood actually has more than 110K, just to keep in mind. He is going to reach for re-raising chips. 25,000. Now Adams in this spot, a little bit similar. Called with king queen offsuit. This time he's got king queen suited, but it's a squeeze pot against Greenwood. We'll see if he reacts differently based on his opponent. Based on the previous hand, if he's calling king queen offsuit, king queen suited, seems like it would be a call. So he is going to call here. That probably is going to bring in Larson for this price. He's got position, big pocket pair. Just checking out Sam Greenwood's stack, trying to decide if he's too short or not. So Larson's going to make the call, so we're going to have 81,000 in the middle. 3-way squeeze pot. And there's the 10. Wow, actually every player gets a good piece. Greenwood with the overpair. Adams actually has a pair and a straight draw. Larson bottom set. Greenwood's got about 40 big blinds left. He's got a little bit more actually. 160,000 stack. He might bet, he might check. Really just depends on what he thinks the opponent's going to do. He's going to bet 25,000. Trying to get some value. And it kind of weeds out your opponents. You know, say Adams raises, someone else's re-raises. Probably get away from aces safely. Adams has a pair and a straight draw. This is the type of hand where generally you want to just call here. By raising, you kind of over-represent your hand. Still got one player to act behind you. Adams does make the call. Now Larson here, bottom set. Kind of an interesting decision because if he raises, it looks like he's got at least a set. And that's why he just calls here. He doesn't want his opponents to fold hands like aces and king queen here. On the flip side, could be bad if, you know, like a 9 rolls off a queen or an ace. Now Greenwood, when he sees 2 calls in position, and he's got the 2 aces that blocks ace queen, he might easily still think he's got the best hand here. He's got less than pot remaining. If he thinks his opponent has king queens and queen jacks, he's going to want to keep betting. He's going to check. He's a bit suspicious. Adams, he might want to play cautiously too. When he sees Larson overcall, it does seem like Larson has a very strong hand or the same hand. So he's going to check. Larson, bottom set. Should be betting. He was hoping for some action. But, you know, both players are checking to him because it looks so strong for him to overcall on the flop very quickly. Larson is going to bet 75,000 chips. That is half a Greenwood stack, so Greenwood needs to decide should he commit or not. Does he think Larson would play king queen this way? I'm not sure that he does. King queen usually would want to check it back and take a free card because it's too easy someone could have aces or ace king here. This is a shot clock tournament, so he can't think too long. 30 seconds. He's got time extensions. Looks like Greenwood is using one time extension. Try to figure out, does Larson have a big hand? He's wondering why didn't Larson raise the flop? Wow, what a laydown of aces. Now we still got Adams here. He's got top pair open in a straight draw. Adams is trying to think. What Larson bet this way? That is worse than king queen. I'm having trouble thinking of a hand too. Correctly lays down king queen, so Larson try to get his opponents to put in more bad chips. Doesn't win anything. Gives his opponent an extra chance to draw out. Had he known they would just check fold to turn, maybe he would rather raise. Tried his best to look weak, but I guess when he calls that flop, looks just as strong. Looks like we got Paul Flaw joining the table. Yeah, it is. As we balance the tables out.
raise 7,000.
Call.
Call. Call.
So Greenwood going to open up the button. Queen 5 suited. Linus calls with Jack 10 of clubs. Paul's got the 6-5. Everyone's got a pretty fair fight at this flop. Or the flop to come.
Three players.
What a flop for Linus. Flops a straight and a flush draw. 71% with just Jack high. Trying to decide if he should lead out here. Or playing a three-way flop. And I like the lead out because this is the type of board where the dealer button is likely going to check it back with like ace high. Or just some misses like queen 5, so you don't want to let this check through. Paul's got an inside straight draw.
Call. Call. Heads up.
Paul makes the call with inside straight draw. Turn is the king. So if I'm Linus here, I'm thinking that Paul called from the big blind. So that means Paul can have hands like 8-7, ace-8, 10-9. With the overcard on the turn, you can really put a lot of pressure on Paul, who likely just has a random one-pair hand or a draw. So it's an overbet. And I really, really like this bet because it just puts so much pressure on a weak range. Oftentimes, Paul, if he had a set or two pair, would raise the flop.
Call.
So he does fold, and Linus is going to continue to chip up. Paul's got just about starting stack.
Ah, you already making yourself at home. Then you move.
I'm so comfortable.
So Timothy Adams is going to get moved to the outer table.
How many levels, spin 3?
8.
8.
Finish midnight.
Call. Call. Call.
Paul completes the small blind. They got almost the same hand. David Peters, king 4 suited. Raises to 12,000, putting the pressure on Paul. And they had the same hand. Peters is going to get the best of Paul. Let me take a look. Who else is in the field that I haven't told you guys yet? How about Christoph Vogelsang? Did you guys know that? Tan Schwinn, Steve O'Dwyer, Mike Watson. For you guys that missed it, Tom Dwan, Jungle Man, and Timofey Kuznetsov is in this tournament. Registration is still open.
Call. Call.
Greenwood gonna open up Jack 9 of clubs. Sergio Idol's got ace queen in the big blind.
Call.
He's gonna make the call.
那个 iPad， 看到我的时候啊，看人家的牌，我要问
Greenwood does outflop Ido.
你们看住。
Greenwood does like to make very small continuation bets because he knows he will bluff this flop. We'll see if he wants to bet here with this reasonable top pair.
Check.
Actually does decide to check this time. Turn card is the queen, so he does let Sergio Idol pick up a better pair. I think Idol's gonna feel pretty confident in his hand once it goes check on the flop. Just needs to decide, is it better to bet or check and try to let his opponent represent the queen?
Bet 7,000.
So he does bet out. Greenwood does make the call here. Does beat hands like King 10. Rook card is the 3, so Sergio Idol is going to want to keep value betting here. Just seems like one of those hands where checking doesn't accomplish too much, because a hand like Ace King would just check it back. So he does go for a lot of value, 27,000. It's a big bet.
Phones. Phone allowed, but cannot be here because it will affect the RFID. Phone allowed here, on your lap.
That's a quick call from Greenwood. So Sergio Idol is going to chip up Greenwood down to a shorter stack.
Wow, you want to post something again?
What? Are you happy, Paul?
Hello, my baby.
Jeez.
What's up, Randy Lou?
Can check your seat up, you know?
Doing good.
Randy, you know what's in my belly right now?
Walk fried rice.
Walk fried rice, buddy boy. Thank
This guy
you.
next to you is
Nobody even
Low
noticed
nigga.
I was gone.
low nigga.
Wait, that's bad.
Loliga, his surname. Mr. Loliga.
Linus Love.
Oh, Jungle Man.
Avatars of the Pokemon. on
Lowliger.
Stars.
I guess it is Lowliger.
I know a lot about it.
Did he just
Yeah,
say
I know,
Lowliger?
That's about all I know.
Yeah, I think he...
I know this is probably the third time you've seen daylight. I know that too. That's the last thing I know.
I haven't even been outside today yet.
See?
Raise. 65. Call. Call.
So I don't know if you know about
Yeah.
Linus.
He's the newest.
I know
school.
almost nothing about him,
He's
so
like, I'm like
please.
part machine or whatever. But
I'll tell
he's
you in a
like
little
all
bit
Machine.
after this
Don't let
hand.
him fool you.
Is every fan favorite at the table right now? We've got Linus.
Machine inside.
We've got Jungle Man. We've got Fwa.
Terminator.
We've got Ido.
But you're Terminator.
The internet is melting down right now.
And we
Yeah,
got Larson, who's
also
got
Terminator.
a big history.
Different
Huge
time,
history.
Different model.
Basically a time traveler.
T1000.
Ooh, wait, does Dan know about Terminators?
Oh, I can say stupid shit. I forgot. And they record.
Why?
Huh?
You can or
I
can't?
can. I can, but I want. I prefer if they catch me saying stupid shit. That's better than just saying stupid shit. If that makes sense. Say stupid shit and have witness. It's better.
Keep talking, Dan. You're keeping us entertained.
Yeah, I'm with you. Keep talking, keep...
Massage, stay stupid shit.
Call.
All good.
Yep. Keep getting massaged, keep
Can I,
making videos.
Get something to drink too.
Speaking
like
of which, after this hand, I have something to ask you about. Pocket aces going to the flop.
Any
3-bet, bloated pot, queen jack
Okay, I
suited.
get
What
it.
a flop this is.
Okay, I get.
This is
That's my guy here.
an all-in situation based on the stack sizes.
这个茶是我们的啊，
Sam Greenwood, still the shortest stack of the table.
Can you do my legs?
Possibly of the tournament.
Yeah.
Just get one empty cup.
He wants to see
You share my
one spade and exactly one spade.
Okay.
Unless the one spade is the 10 of spades, in which
Honor to
case
share your tea.
Then it gets
all,
awkward.
all the spades he wants.
So
Then he wants 2 spades.
Yeah, Idle trying to decide, what do I bet? Actually going to check here. That is very tricky. And this actually might get Greenwood to just shovel a lot of chips in there, trying to put a tough spot on Ido, who might have a hand like ace-queen, ace-jack, pocket jacks, pocket tens. Because he's only got a little bit over pot remaining. Greenwood's trying to decide, should I check here, take the free card, or bet?
Mm-hmm.
He's got a better chance of representing a king if he decides to bet now. He is going to take the free one.
And I always regret not betting when I take the free card and it's this on the turn, because now when you bet the turn, you get no respect.
Yes, that's true.
And the 7 of diamonds hits the river, and you're like, ah, queen high.
So Ido probably doesn't put Greenwood on a king. That's why he keeps checking.
Thank you, Paul.
This is
Yes.
one tricky aces.
Yes, yeah.
Can I have still water?
So your Greenwood here still got a pretty good hand. You see your opponent check twice. It really does look like Ido has ace, queen, pocket jacks, pocket tens. The question is, what would he do to a bet? I think he would most certainly fold ace, queen.
Do you leave queens out of the equation because you have a queen? Is that why?
And the queen.
Right. Now it's really hard
But
for
no,
him to have queens.
I agree with you.
So Greenwood hits a fairly dangerous card on the river because he's now beating pocket jacks and pocket tens.
I think Ido should strongly consider betting now. It seems like his opponent didn't want to bet the flop, didn't want to bet the turn. It doesn't look like he's got a king. That means that you just leave a queen there, and a queen is not going to value bet against you. I would like to see Ido put a bet in here, trying to get called by like a queen jack, ace queen type hand. That's certainly going to check it back if you check to him. And he just puts his opponent all in, and I like that he is going to bet. And your Greenwood, this line looks kind of funny.
Is he taking his microphone off?
The pre... Okay,
Oh, that would have been amazing.
that would have been a new one.
What a fold.
Yeah, he just actually didn't really need to think about that much.
And look, we can call it playing results. We can call it intuition. We can call it just solid poker, but not betting
Saved him.
saved him.
Yeah, he bets a flop or turn.
He's
Bye-bye.
got to get it in, yeah.
It's you know what happens? He has to find another million Hong Kong to get back in.
Yeah.
And he will.
And he's got to take that microphone off. All right, Randy, so while we're on the subject of the Jungle Man mini movie, it was brought to my attention that he's kind of following in your footsteps.
In my footsteps.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Apparently,
I haven't seen the video, but I've heard of it.
apparently he's not the first poker player to be involved in a mini movie with them as like sort of the main central character.
What movie am I involved in?
Were you not in a movie that takes place in Iceland
Oh, yes.
where one of the main characters of Game of Thrones rescues you from being kidnapped?
That's right. I forgot about that. I don't know if the Twitch chat knows.
I don't think they do because I've literally never heard it referenced until today. But Hardigan told me about it while we were doing the podcast, and I haven't watched it yet. But he's like, yeah, he's like, it's just kind of like that Randy Lou movie. And I'm like, what? What Randy Lou movie?
I don't get it. You think I Hopkins?
Oh,
So I guess you guys should check that out because the internet is forever. I mean, I hope that
that movie is still there.
that movie is still
I'm
there.
not that good.
A different type of movie, though. I'll tell you that. Much different type of movie.
Not necessarily kings on the river. Could have been aces, could have been ace king, could have been anything. I didn't know that could have bluffed catch you.
Fold. Fold. Fold.
Could have been queens. Could have been ace queen.
Fold.
Like,
Nice hand.
Fold.
Greenwood's been making some good folds this past half an hour. I know he's short, but he could have been out of the tournament many times.
Fold. Check.
We are going to get a limp pot.
Boring.
Yeah, let's just get that 2-3-7 flop. That'll be extra boring.
Oh,
Yeah,
close.
Pretty close.
Randy, you beautiful genius. By the way, that was correct use of the word two. I always say two when I'm trying to emphasize it being like a dud of a card. The rest of the time, it's a deuce. When it's a particularly boring card, it's a 2.
Magic four to five.
I don't think much is going to happen in his hand. So 2 is deuce. 3 is tray. 4 is fray.
Fray. Fray. Foie.
Foie. Like Paul Foie, spelled like that?
No, like F-O-U-I-R-E. Foie.
I see.
This girl is on foie.
Ooh.
How about that? Did that change anything? King on the turn?
Well,
Does anyone have even a draw?
Greenwood was like, no, we're going to make this hand interesting. I thought he was just going to check fold.
These guys
flop.
fight for every pot. Every single pot. Bot MV says, these commentators are funny. Who are they? What are your names? He's Norman Chad. I'm Lon McCarran. So what was the mountain like in real life?
I mean, he was 20x my size.
Yeah.
But there's also another secret video.
There's another one.
There's another secret video. It's also self-plug on my channel that you should watch.
Yeah.
Basically, it's the mountain flexing his arm, and I'm trying to do a pull-up on it. In a glacier.
That's so funny. Find out something new about you every day, Randy. Randy!
So take a look at this hand. Linus bet the flop, check, check, turn. And now he's rivered to pair of sixes. I think he can actually go for some good value here. My expectation is that Greenwood had a 10. He would just bet himself. I feel like I'm going to get some tweets about this video within a...
Yeah, if anybody wants to tweet me the link, I'll watch it with the sound off like I did when the Jungle Man video came out.
Greenwood is short stacked. All right, so let me enlighten some knowledge about Linus about you. Fun fact.
Okay.
So Linus's online avatar when he plays poker is the Pokemon Chansey, I believe. Do you know Chansey?
Is Chansey the blue one?
It's the pink one.
The pink one, okay.
But as he kind of like got stronger, was winning,
Yeah.
he changed his avatar to the next evolved state of the Chansey. And then
Pretty funny.
and then when he was crushing heads up, then he evolved it to the level 3 version, changed his avatar again, the final form.
That's incredibly subtle and hilarious.
Yeah. So that's Linus love for you. This guy, low leaguer. It was
also
like,
to know that you're gonna be, that you're at that level. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like to have accurately decided you've leveled up.
I think if he was his opponents, probably should have played him as much as he could when he was a little like chancy.
Right.
But when it started evolving, was just like, can we move down in stakes maybe?
Right. Can I ask you a Pokemon question real quick?
Yeah,
Does
go for it.
Pikachu have multiple states?
Does. It's. I'm trying to think what the second one is. Raichu is the final form.
Can I just Google 3 states of Pikachu?
Pichu.
Check.
You should have known this.
That's it?
No, why is there a black one?
It's brown, Randy.
Oh, colorblind.
Check.
Is that it?
Yeah, but you don't know their names.
Oh, they changed names too.
Yeah, they do.
Which one is Detective Pikachu?
Check.
How do you know there's a Detective Pikachu?
There's a movie coming out with Ryan Reynolds.
Oh, yeah.
My man crush.
So this pot, not much happening. Paul, does he want to bet? Nope. Pair of threes is good. So we are live from the Maestral Resort and Casino in Montenegro.
Yeah, we are.
Day one of this 3-day event.
Day one of this 3-day event, but it is event number 5. We've been here for 3 days already. 3 trophies have been awarded. This is going to be hard by the end, but I think I can do it now.
Call.
Nope, I can't. I forgot who won the first one.
Steve O'Dwyer.
Steve O'Dwyer. How can I forget? You just guess Steve O'Dwyer anyway most of the time, and you've won a trophy at something. Steve O'Dwyer, Bryn Kenny, Winford Yu.
Correct. And do you know who got second place twice?
Mike Haxton,
That's right.
2 second places.
But I bet you don't know who got second place in the other one.
Call.
It was Bryn Kenny versus... It wasn't Ike Haxton.
Correct.
Heads up.
Cool.
Pocket nines versus 3 deuce. Hello.
Oh.
Hello. Sets are always fun. Unless a 4 flush comes, in which case, bleh.
Four.
Raichu, Pichu, Pikachu. Pikachu. Is that it?
Call.
It seems like it. I don't actually know.
And it's a 4 on the turn, so board doesn't get any scarier for top set. Kate's
Inside straight draw.
does pick up additional outs.
Paul's going to keep betting. It makes a lot of sense. You want to charge hands like 5-6, 4-6, 3-6, 9-6. Every 6. 3 clubs out there. Don't want to see the 4th club. So Jungle Man trying to wait. How often does Paul Fall just have like a big club? Looks like he's going to lay it down.
Call.
9.
Yeah, 12 into 17, right?
Hmm?
12 into 17, so. Yeah.
It was a long heads-up battle.
It really
Still trying to
is.
think of who Bryn Kenny beat. Okay. It was the 6 max.
Yes.
I remember the event.
Maybe it's easier
Oh,
for you if you
my,
name
my
who
girlfriend
isn't it.
usually
Eventually
can't
you'll have
follow
one person
along
left.
Because like Poku News or Poku Stars
what?
can't follow along when she's at work because like Poku News and Poku Stars and all that are blocked. But Triton is new enough that that her company is not on the firewall.
So she can see the result now.
Yeah, she can watch it from work.
It was Sam Greenwood
live
who
stream.
finished
Yeah.
second to Big Kenny.
Call.
You can see Twitch
Are you sure?
in your
Nope.
place. Where you
I don't think she can see Twitch, but if she goes to the Triton website, they have the stream up there.
Just tell me.
It wasn't Sam.
I
Greenwood.
know. Who was it?
You gotta find out. The question is, do you have to find out because
65.
I want you to find out yourself, or because I don't remember either?
Oh,
feel weird.
I'm not saying I don't remember.
right, but that is a good question to ask.
They too much shot there.
No.
Shall I find out for you?
No, I'm referring to something that
Last chance.
I'm on it.
I'm like in my own. world
Oh,
right
it was
now.
Daniel DeVoris.
You
I was,
remember now.
I was gonna say the white guy.
Call.
Hoping to cover my bases there with probably about half the field, but
Heads up.
I wasn't even smart enough to do that. King eye flop top pair for Fua.
Check.
I think cash games are way more fun than this.
Check.
10 on the turn, so Peters does pick up a gut shot straight draw, also has aces as outs.
Bet 6,000.
Paul bets 6K. Peters going nowhere.
Call.
I mean, he beats all those straight draws like Jack 9, Queen Jack, and of course he can hit his hand.
He does not hit his hand. He is not beating top pair. Seems like a pretty safe board to value bet top pair.
His kicker does have some issue, so there's a chance he might check. Most likely, if he does bet, he's trying to get an 8 to call. He agrees, so he's going to put some chips.
Bet 23,000.
It's a nice value bet because a lot of people would just instantly check back, thinking, no kicker.
I feel like when we play for way more money, like everyone, game's much more entertaining. And when we're playing like,
Depends on which table you draw. You draw with Richard, of course, you laugh all the time.
huh?
Depends who's on the table.
Depends on the table. So you're saying it's because of everyone else? It's everyone else at this table is lame.
Yeah, we don't know how to talk to them.
7 in the dark.
Then you always mix with Richard, those Macau guys, you have subjects to talk about.
Feature table chip counts. Your boy Linus Love. 161 big blinds, nearly 500,000 in chips. Dan Larson, relative newcomer. Looking forward to finding out more about him. He's got the Danish flag next to his name. Maybe his full name is Danish Larson. That would be interesting. Sergio Aido, third in chips at this table with nearly 300K. Paul Foy, Daniel Cates, David Peters. All similar stacks up over 200,000. But it's Sam Greenwood who's still the shortest stack.
Ham on this spread they're
And
putting out.
just let you guys know,
Yeah.
Smart.
Tom Dwan
But
is in the
you don't know
field.
what?
What?
So
After-
our next hand, have to change this.
Stir.
Also,
You
True
know, there's
Teller's
like
in
a
the field.
coalition of tournament
What?
players that all have like basically
No,
share
I'm
rights.
not.
Teller.
Like a big coalition. Multiple actually, but one big
What's
one.
True Teller's real name?
Timofey
each other very well.
Kuznetsov.
Kuznetsov. Okay, I got it.
And it seems like Matthias Eibinger is the current chip leader on the outer tables.
I don't know if this is the coalition table though.
Okay, as long as they play, by the rules.
So
Yeah.
Paul's going to open up 4 deuce suited.
I'm just saying they know each other. That's for fucking sure.
Look at that. Pair of deuces is good. Aido picks up the weird end of a straight draw.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. That's why he's not betting. Check, check again. 2 pair.
Twoper.
No one ever puts you on the deuce 4-2 pair.
Nope. Although 8 high doesn't really have to put you on a very strong hand, do they?
I think Idol's considering maybe stabbing here. I think his opponent's got like ace-8, ace-7. Definitely wouldn't call a bet on the river. And this is not going to work. That's an over bet he's reaching for. Idol puts his opponent on ace high. Gets quickly called.
Nice.
Let's show the deuce 4.
Whoops.
A little chuckle from Ido.
Open 4-2 suited on my blind.
Yes, I learned from 10. 10 open, deuce, 3 deuce. I 4 years.
Much, much love to the Maestral Resort and Casino here in Montenegro. I've heard it's very beautiful outside. I have not seen it.
It is very beautiful.
I smelled fresh air today at one
You
point.
should really take a walk out there.
Yeah, I'm
sometime.
just waiting to have a moment. It's been all poker all the time. For
I mean,
about
it's
a
good
week
poker,
straight
you
now.
gotta
It is
admit.
good
I'm not
poker.
sure. I think I broke evenish.
It's
Played
really good poker.
So I didn't play perfect.
You can't ask for a more stacked field than this.
$6,000. 6.
So Greenwood down to less than 10 actual chips. He's got 5 red ones, 2 blue ones.
Oh, no. Luckily, all it takes is a chip and a chair.
So Paul's got King Jack. He's going to lay his hand down.
You looking at me?
Even if Jungle Man never plays a hand, he just makes it so much more lively.
He does. He's so high on life right now.
Like, he wins your heart so fast whenever you see him on these featured tables. So Greenwood getting attacked again.
It's 4 yellows, would you?
Hanging in there, playing this event till about 1:30 a.m. That's 2.5 hours from now. Registration does not close until tomorrow, however. Here in event number 5. Trivia question for you, Randy.
Okay, try me.
Who won event number 4?
There was no event number 4.
Ah,
It's a good one, though. But if you ask that, maybe in 5 days from now,
right.
that would be actually a really good trick question. Like you start saying who won event number 1, event number 6, number 2, and then you just randomly throw out the 4. Like,
Let me think about that for a second.
Well, thanks to our official partner, 12bet.com.
1-2-bet.
You know, you say 12bet really fast. Sounds like 12bet.
1-2-bet. I do 1-2-bet. I haven't gotten to go to the casino at all. You know, one of my favorite things to do after commentating poker all day is to go press buttons.
Yeah. Casino buttons or
Yeah,
keyboard
well,
buttons?
Keyboard buttons are, like console buttons. I like console games because my computers work. So I like to play console games, but I can't bring my console with me
Did you? I'm gonna
everywhere
call
I
you
go
Linus.
anymore. It's just too heavy. And,
Slot.
but I like to go
Did
play
you give
some
up learning
slots.
mixed games?
Paul Foy raising under the gun with Pocket Kings. Ido with Ace
Try
Queen.
with short deck.
What's that?
I didn't even try short deck. That would be next on the list before
It wouldn't be a
all
bad
of the
choice
limit
still.
games.
This is like one of the best no limit and PLO players these days.
Ido just
Maybe
calls.
the best. Heads up anyway. Combined.
I guess if Linus played short deck, he'd have to go back to the original Charmander.
It's a hot topic.
Yeah. He
For
doesn't know the
aspiring
rules.
internet nerds like myself.
Queen, Jack 6, top pair, top kicker, Faido. Not good enough to beat the Kings of Paul Foy.
If this runs out pretty safe, Paul Foy's going to get 3 streets of value pretty safely. Like to see him continuation bet on its Queen Jack 6 board. You always have more incentive to bet into multiple players because, well, multiple players get free cards. Not a good thing. Half pot from Paul Foy. Ido, top pair, top kicker. He's probably going to just make the call here.
Do my
Raising
other leg?
doesn't really achieve too much.
Three, four.
Here it comes.
34.
Wow, did he raise?
34.
Hey, so there is a way to say 4. That isn't 4.
Yeah, Quattro.
So Ido does raise. A little bit different of a line. I did expect him to call. I mean, he's got top pair, top kicker. He actually does think he's got the best hand. And I think Paul Foy, usually most players would just call here of kings. They feel like if they raise again, they kind of make their opponent only get it in with a hand that beats them.
Oh.
So that is why he just calls.
34.
Are they afraid of only getting in with a hand that beats them or just letting their opponent make a good fold here?
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
That as well.
Right. I'm sorry. You are saying both things by saying that. I just wanted to
I understand.
back end that by...
Yeah, but some players might raise here for like, say, 10-8, and they have so little equity. Might as well let them blast it off rather than, you know, blow them off of it.
So it's a second diamond on the turn, but it's a 3. Really should not change much about this hand. We do have 92,000 in the middle.
Now, when Ido raises this flop and gets called, he should be ahead a lot of the time. He beats hands like Ace-King that probably would consider calling a flop raise. King-10, of course. Worst queens, King-Queen. But he's worried about kings, aces, jacks.
You can
sixes.
check back here, right, without being a total...
I don't think it's a bad play to check back.
Right.
I definitely don't think it's a bad play to bet. And I kind of like betting because your hand is a little bit vulnerable, especially when the diamonds come out. So it's a really big bet.
That is a big bet. 67,000 into...
Now Paul's got an interesting decision. Do we check call? Do we check raise all in because there's enough in the middle? Because if Paul makes this call, I think he would expect Ido to shut down the river a lot as a bluff because his hand would look so strong. That doesn't mean that raising is the better play. I think calling and raising are both okay options. Just depends on what you think Ido's got. Does he expect Ido to actually raise the flop with a queen and bet the turn?
Is there... Okay, let me ask you this.
Mhm.
Is there any... Are you trying to protect your hand at all by raising? You're not really worried about getting outdrawn here, are you?
No, he's not worried about getting outdrawn.
He just wants to raise for value.
Yeah, I mean, sure, you do want to protect a little bit. I think the all-in is actually fine here, given that the 3 of diamonds turn. You can represent some draws here. You know, like ace, king of diamonds, king 10 of diamonds, 10, 9 of diamonds. And you can see Ido is actually in a tough spot. He actually did not expect this to happen too often.
Yeah, not a tough spot, a gross spot, really.
Yeah, that's kind of why it's tricky raising top pair. You put yourself in these situations where if your opponent wants to commit all the chips, you might end up folding the best hand by accident.
Or getting yourself into a position where you have to call it off with the worst hand, which is what's happening here.
Mm-hmm. Now, that doesn't mean that Ido's raise on the flop was a bad play, but it's definitely puts you in a very awkward spot.
It can put you into more awkward positions, but it can also, you know, maximize your value in spots where you're going to have the best hand, which is probably going to be most of the time.
I certainly agree with that. Unfortunately,
And I
for
think having the stones, the stomach to take those spots is what separates fine players from good players.
to be a good player, it's not about avoiding tough spots. You're going to play tough spots. You just got to play them well.
Right. And also just maximizing your profit when you have the best hand. And a lot of just okay players are perfectly happy to like bet, check call with top pair. It's only a pair and that's fine. But the best players in the world are going to find ways to get more value out of those spots.
Definitely agree with all that. So the problem for Sergio Idol is this is a shot clock tournament. He's used 3 time banks so far.
Oh, wow. Yeah, he has.
And he only probably has 3 more behind at most.
We've been talking about poker for almost 2 full minutes, and I haven't said anything dumb. There's the call. And Ido is way behind.
Very spicy.
He is covered by Paul
I
Foy.
don't know, actually.
No,
I wouldn't do that.
I bet he raised flop.
Oh, he raised flop.
Yeah, I call.
Oh.
And I check raise the third. Standard.
Standard.
Normal.
Normal. Oh, you guys. It's the $1 million buy-in. Hong Kong.
Still a lot.
Still a lot. 125,000 US. Ido misses everything on the river. Not that there was that much to hit in the first place.
242K.
And that is going to send him to the rail.
He's going to have to spend another 1 million Hong Kong to get in. I think he will.
I also think he will. There's going to be an absolutely killer prize pool in this tournament, and I assume there'll be very few people who will go broke before the re-entry period is over, who will actually walk away from this tournament and stay away. Just going to be too juicy of a prize pool.
If you're willing to put up this money to play, you got extra bullets behind.
Too juicy of a prize pool, and it's... Oh, he's not out. Look at that. We had the stacks off. He does have the proverbial chip in a chair.
Two chips in a chair.
2 chips in a chair. He has the... I guess it's 3 chips probably,
you don't
right?
have 12bet, do you? Whose site is this? 12bet.com. What's this?
12-bet.
Not 12 bet
7,000.
jungle. It's 1-2 bet.
Friends.
Friends.
Okay. Never seen 12bet. There's 3bet, there's 4bet.
That's a lot of math.
Not 12 bet, 1, 2 bet.
Got
A
him.
1-2 bet.
Yes, do you want to bet?
Oh.
You thought it was 12 bet?
It's not 12. It's
All right, we all thought it was 12-bet
It's
at one
12.
point or another. Take it easy, Sam.
I mean, true, I did too.
Are you all in?
Yeah.
Huh?
Yes.
All right.
Same 7,000.
Dan trying to get a read on his
So you raise 7.
2 big blind shove.
So, do you think Jungle has ever seen a 12 bet in poker?
I feel like an 8-bet is the most I've ever seen. And that's in a no-limit game. You don't really get to count it in a limit game. And I think it's capped in limit anyway.
But there's a chance he's seen a 12 bet in no limit. There's a chance.
Yeah, him? Oh, yeah, of course. If anyone has, he has. 10, 9, 7, 2 hearts. Kate's pairs is 7. Aido. Big trouble. While also not likely to take any chips back out of this pot. Ido. Just 3 outs for now. Maybe you can catch a fun little chop out on the turn. Although, I mean, I know no one wants to spend another million Hong Kong, but not really sure he wants to chop his 2 big blinds here. He might be. Ah!
Oh, well, I mean, he can. Let's
He
get
can do
that
it now.
Jack or 6.
Ah!
Man,
Hooray!
bizarrely bad.
You won! You won chips, Sergio. Where's your celebration?
You want to know the plot twist? Registration closes now.
Oh, and he can't get back in. He has to have 8 big blinds.
Just registration is not closed. Just a joke, for the record.
Locked out.
What do you think of the live pros, Linus?
What I think of them,
Yeah, what do you think?
they're intimidating.
They're intimidating?
Yeah, they always stare you down.
Yeah, but don't let them scare you. That's how they get under your skin. They're really good at that.
Aren't you a live pro now?
Huh? Yeah, but I'm like kind of in the middle. I'm a little online, a little live. I don't really use the intimidation tactics. I use different methods. I got my own style.
You do have your own style. How much?
Oh, sorry.
Sergio all in
I
again.
had to give Linus a stare down there to
Greenwood
avoid.
all in over the top.
Couldn't have him get in with
Little
2
protection.
overcards.
He can't go broke in this hand. Sergio's got 1 overcard.
You never see the force dominating.
10, 6, 5, 2 spades. Looking pretty good for Sam Greenwood to pick up some chips. We're just paired now, so actually plenty of counterfeit outs. And that's not one of them. Sergio is going to get the chance to get a full stack, although he will have to spend 1 million more HK dollars to get it. Sam Greenwood, again the shortest stack at the table, but he's got a few more chips than he had before.
Right.
Oh.
One moment.
I hear Luca
we
Vivaldi,
break
tournament
after our
director,
continue.
announcing
Play faster.
to finish the hand you're on.
Oh, okay. Oh, no, one more hand.
So this will be the last hand of this level.
Okay.
Larson with the ace-10. Larson is going to open raise it.
Okay, go break.
Ooh, pocket
Raise.
kings.
Well, this is a great hand for everyone else to miss. Used to be there was a little extra psychology involved in the hands before the break, but I think that those days are long gone. Wow, Larson just lets the ace-10 go. Dan Cates gets very little action on those pocket kings.
Okay,
Barely
I'll
wins
break
more
that.
than the blinds and antes. Quick shot of the chip counts here. Paul Foy on top. Sam Greenwood just 15 big blinds as players head to a break. Well, Randy, Sergio Aido, casualty of that level. Do you know if the ATM can spit out $1 million Hong Kong?
No, it cannot.
Have you tried it?
I tried.
What do? Do they just wire like $10 million?
I don't know. They somehow just always have all this money to play, but it's super high stakes. Special for the Triton Super High Roller Series. We get to see these guys duke it out. It's super cool. I'm loving this no limit action again. You know, the short deck was super fun, but we got a lot of cool names and characters. Linus, Love, Jungle Man. Jungle Man. Talk about him. He's so fun, right?
Time to get back to our roots. Absolutely. Jungle Man in the mix. Always a good time. And I love the fact that he's starting to show some life out there. You know what I mean? Jungle Man brings the personality to the table. We do have to take a quick break. When we get back, blinds will be 2,000, 4,000 with a 4,000 big blind ante. Join us in 15 minutes time for more from the $1 million event.
Hello, everybody. Just to make it clear, I'm a co-founder, not the founder. Right, this is third edition of the Triton Montenegro, and it's the 11th stop so far of our young Triton brand. This is the one stop. This is my favorite stop, because we come here to play the game we love, poker, short deck, full deck. Now we have Omaha, we have cash games, and hopefully you guys will have a great tournament. I wish everybody could win something, but it doesn't always work this way. Right? If you don't, please try and try. Eventually, I think hard work will pay off. Right, I'll pass the mic to my co-founder to have a few words in Mandarin, Chinese, or Cantonese, whatever he like.
唔該晒各位兄弟朋友 ，Thank you very much to support our Triton. Thanks， 谢谢你们支持我们传奇扑克，谢谢。
Bryn Kenny, how's life?
Chilling, you know, can't complain. Life's very good.
We're back on the Triton Poker Series kind of journey. Talk us through Jeju a little bit, because you had a runner-up finish, you had a 4th place finish. Some of us look at that from the outside in and think, wow, that's the tough beat, but a lot of money as well. How do you feel?
I mean, I think I played really exceptional in both the tournaments. So the thing is, you can't really get stuck on what result you get, more like just how you play. And I feel like I should have won both the tournaments, but it doesn't happen sometimes like that for the cards. So, you know, just feeling great. Life is good, chilling.
What is it like, though? You're in there, you're muscling it up with Timothy Adams, like someone you've been battling with for decades, and that card hits, you're out. How does it feel?
Yeah, it's the worst. I hate to lose, especially when you make it to the final 2 and then lose. But I mean, you have to just take it. Doesn't really matter how you feel. You have to get past that emotion and just be happy about it.
And the season started off with a crack at the best it could be, with a win in the Aussie Millions. Tell us about that a little bit.
Yeah, no, that was sick. Such a fun tournament. Since it's just the one big tournament a year they have there, everyone has so much fun. So it's just a good laugh. Even the people, when they were busting out, were saying how they had a great time playing too. It was fun to make a deep run in that and win a final table without knocking anyone out at the final table, which must be a record.
I was going to say, you don't get that very often, right?
Yeah, show me another one where someone won the tournament when they didn't knock anyone out at the final table.
Did that take the shine off it a little bit for you, or was you like, I don't give a fuck, I just want the money?
No, yeah, I don't give a fuck. I mean, the thing is, I was happy to play for it. I wasn't really getting any cards anyway, so I was holding my own in that one with small stack to start, with no cards really. Other guys were getting cards, so they and the blinds were big, so playing for a bit, so if they want to give you the trophy and a little bit extra, I just couldn't say no.
Are you doing anything different this year? Because last time I spoke to you, you just come out of a downswing, now you're winning again. Are you doing anything different, or is it just a luck of the cards?
No, I mean, I feel good, enjoying myself, so I mean, maybe that correlates into enjoying life and into when you're playing, actually just want to be there and happy. I mean, in theory, I want to be healthier and do healthier things, but it's not like I follow that path necessarily.
Well, you did once for a short while, so you can get back on that horse.
I mean, I'm doing much better than I used to do anyway, so still, it's not bad, but I'd always like to do better.
So what are you now, in the top 5 of the all-time money list? I know that's important to you. Maybe the health kick is the one that's going to get you up there, Bryn.
Yeah, I'm number 6 now, so almost in the top 5. Who cares about top? We'll talk about it when I'm number 1.
And finally, tell us what makes this Triton Poker Series so special and brings you out every occasion.
Yeah, it's just a good, fun time, good laughs, high stakes, few days, good places, really well ran, really, yeah, just everything about it I really like.
You're looking forward to the main event, so we're going to see you playing some short deck?
No, I'm just going to play the no limits, and to be honest, I'm disappointed that they don't have a 2 million Hong Kong buy-in, but somehow I still showed up, even low stakes.
Low stakes on the Triton Poker Series. You heard this here first off Bryn Kenny. Thanks for joining us, Bryn.
Welcome to the Maestral Casino and Resort here in beautiful Montenegro. It's the second stop of the Triton Poker Series, and this promises to be a good one. We've got 10 events over 13 days. Let's see what this place has to offer. The Maestral Resort and Casino is located in one of the most exclusive parts of the Adriatic coast, and with its private beach, it's one of the most attractive resorts on the coast. Maestral's accommodation includes 183 rooms and 20...
Are you just reading from the guidebook?
But what else am I supposed to do? I've just flown in. I didn't have the time to research. But I'll do my best. This really is the perfect place to play poker. Outside, you've got the beautiful surroundings. Inside, luxurious hotel. Got everything you could need. And the staff here, they're just so friendly. I've been here for a day, and I already feel right at home. Good to see you, buddy. That's annoying. We had breakfast together. This place even has a theatre. I flew in late last night, but there was just enough time to give them a little taste of my stand-up. So what do you get when you cross a Triton event with a really exclusive hotel? A really great time. Don't really do jokes, me, more observational. Doesn't matter anyway, there's no one here. This hotel even has its own karaoke room, but apparently Eric Seidel's block booked it for the 2 weeks. He's been singing Lady Gaga Poker Face on loop. Another cool thing about this place is we're just 5 minutes away from a big tourist attraction, Sweaty Stefan. Apparently that's a fortified island that people live on, not a bloke with perspiration problems. It's the most photographed place in Montenegro. That was until the Triton Super Series came to town. This place really does have everything. Massage rooms, indoor pools, outdoor pools, jacuzzis. This here is the fitness center where the guys will come and let off some steam when they bust. And if you can't find me, I'll probably be in here too. 2016, 2017, 2018, 2019. Wow, it's been 4 years since I've been to the gym. So let's now have a peek at where the real action takes place this week. Surrounding me are the previous champions, but it's time, I think, to start crowning some new ones. Follow me through to this year's tournament area. But you know, I think the best thing about this event is that if you bust one of these tournaments, you can be down on the beach in exactly exactly 32 seconds.
Daniel, how's life?
Life is pretty good.
I need notes now because I'm getting old.
Yeah.
You had a 4th in the PCA 50K?
Yes.
And then you went to Monte Carlo and you had a 4th and an 8th in the 100K and the 25K?
Yep.
And then yesterday you finished runner-up to bring Kenny.
Yeah, so like the trajectory is good, right?
It's getting there,
Yeah.
it's getting there. On paper it looks all rosy, but how's it going really in life?
I mean, yeah, life's pretty good right now. Obviously, I've been away from home for quite a bit, so that takes a little bit of a toll on you. But yeah, life is good, and I'm enjoying myself here.
And is anything changed in your game? You know, because you're getting closer and closer. Is anything changed in your game, or is we're just seeing variance come up? Or?
Yeah, I think it's just variance. I went into the PCA 100K final table as the chip leader. I thought I was playing the bubble pretty well, and then ran into like a very standard hand versus Sam Greenwood, where yeah, I was just trying to bully him on the bubble, and he ended up having ace-queen suited, and so we kind of flipped stacks there. Yeah, those spots are going to happen sometimes, sort of situational variance that can't be avoided.
I noticed you've had 13 top 4 finishes since 2017, which is quite remarkable. I mean,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I mean, how do you become so consistent competing in the highest stakes in the game?
I think just playing a lot and also working on my game off the table.
And how do you just share a little bit with us how you're doing that these days? Is there any new tricks we need to be learning, or are you doing the same standard things?
I think it's the same standard things, but also there's obviously a lot of streams now, so I try to watch those and kind of keep up on what everyone's doing.
These streams are pretty world class now, aren't
Yeah.
they? You know?
Yeah, the production here is great.
And tell me about yesterday's tournament. Could it have gone any better for you? Any mistakes
Well,
you
I
made
could have
or
won.
anything?
Like, that would have been better,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
No, I'm actually really happy with how I played heads up. There were, I guess there was one very significant hand where I had a 2-to-1 chip lead and check shoved a flush draw against a turn barrel versus Bryn. He had the nuts, so that didn't go well. But like, I kind of looked over the hand again on the stream. I would play it again today, just versus what I think his range there is. So I'm happy with my decision there. And then I lost, not a true flip, but I just lost King 10 versus Ace-7 or Ace-6, I think, to finish second. And that's just 2 hands that are going to go in at shallow stacks heads up.
I was looking at your Holdem Mob profile, like I said, with his 13 top 4 finishes, and I started to think of Stephen Chidwick when he was going on those runs, but he was getting there, but he weren't quite getting there, and then all of a sudden he just smashed it. Do you ever have that in the back of your head? When's my moment when I'm going to smash these number ones?
Stevie's been crushing, so yeah, it'd be good to replicate that for sure.
Does it get you? Do you ever go to sleep thinking, when am I going to get my run of like titles?
I mean, I'd say momentarily. It's frustrating sometimes to kind of have a good opportunity or have sort of good EV at a final table in the tournament and kind of not and come short. But having said that, upon reflection, I'm always very happy to consistently be getting to a spot with very high EV. And so at the end of the day, that just makes me happy.
And what are your plans for the rest of the year?
I actually don't have any solid plans past 2 weeks from now. So I know there's going to be a big thing in London. I think I'm going to go do that. I think I'll go to Barcelona in August. I think there's another Jeju thing in the fall, like in September.
I'm not sure yet.
So yeah, loosely I'm, thinking of doing that. But yeah, after the end of May, I have no plans.
Okay, well, just focus on the now, focus on the moment. Let's see if we can get another #1 notched up in the Daniel Tavares Hinder Mob sheet by the end of the year. Thank you.
Thank you.
Cheers, Daniel.
Hello, my babies, and welcome back to the Triton Super High Roller Series from Montenegro, the Maestral Resort and Casino.
What kind of view is that? That is just ugly. Come on.
That's the view from the outside of the hotel. I would know nothing about that. Joe Stapleton and Dave Tuckman here to bring it on home for you tonight. The last 2 levels of the night for event number 5. The $1 million Hong Kong buy-in, no limit Holdem main event, day 1.
I'm telling you right now, 2 in the morning when we are done, if you guys want to, I am jumping in that pool. Me, Jungle Man, and whoever wants to join us.
Do you really think I see what you're doing there. You think Jungle Man's going to bring some of his co-stars with him?
No.
Just you and Jungle Man.
Just me and Jungle Man.
Is what's going to end
We
up
are back to you with the main. I'm here with the infamous Daniel Jungle Man Cates. Daniel, everyone wants to know what is going on with your video. What was inspiring? What inspired that for you?
Well, like my friends and I were partying, and a friend of mine actually did the video, and he suggested it for me. I thought, why not? Fuck it. It'd be interesting to make a crazy video. I didn't realize it would go that far, but once it goes that far, I figured, well, I'm here now. I guess I'm gonna go with it.
Can we expect more fun videos from you, or are you ending your career?
Definitely, you'll expect more content from me in the future. I'm deciding exactly what kind of content I'm going to release and when. Let's put it like that.
Can I audition to do one of your videos?
Yeah, possibly.
Yes. All right. Well, good luck in there. Let's get back to the game.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Nice work, Marley. I've gotten that yes before from people, and that is actually a big fat no. Sorry, Marley.
I have a feeling that her yes was different than your yeses.
Yeah, no, I could tell. That was Dan being like, nee.
Maybe not.
Matthias Eiminger, the chip leader. This looks like a new feature table we'll be focusing on now, different from what we saw before we went to break. Matthias Eiminger, the chip leader here with almost 200 big blinds. Ahmedi Nati is someone that we have not seen so far here. Timofey Kuznetsov, someone who hasn't been on stream yet today. Huge online player, True Teller. You may have seen a lot of folks mentioning True Teller, one of the biggest online players of all time. Still in the game. Unlike some of those big online names of the past, this guy still grinding the online circuit. Nikita Bajakowski kicking things off with Kings.
He doesn't miss anything.
What a table. What a table indeed. Pretty excited to be here.
Yeah, they haven't been that bad.
Jeju, they were so bad.
I feel like I'm in the worst seat for it, though.
Tom Dwan, ladies and gentlemen. What a legend.
We have online legends from the past and online legends from the future here in Montenegro. Pretty unbelievable.
I'm just going to say it now. I'll repeat it every 15 minutes or so. Yes, we know Jesus Cortez looks like Pete Sampras. All right, we're going 4 ways to this flop. The 2 powerhouses being pocket kings and pocket nines. Nope, not 4 ways. 3 ways to the flop. Kuznetsov defending, 6-5 offsuit. And flops a gut shot. Nines may get into some trouble.
Yeah, you imagine that Nadi, it's Nadi, right?
Correct.
You imagine that Nadi will at least lose 1 street of value.
At least.
Depending on how the run out is and how much action we see on the flop. Badziakowski checks his kings. He only has 145,000. There's 33,000 in the pot. Come right at a break. See some fireworks here.
Nadi gonna win this hand.
There are 2 9s left in the deck. So whether they come or not, we don't know. But he is clearly behind. Kuznetsov makes the call. I have been looking forward to commentating on that gentleman for quite some time. Pot is 61,000. Action on Badziakowski. You can see from the yellow gold around his name. He's going to raise to 48.
I think he raised, yeah. We're back on Nati now.
A little bit of trickery here. It's an interesting play for Makita, especially being as short as he is.
Sure, he's just fine getting it in.
Oh, yeah.
Now, there aren't really a lot of semi-bluffs in his range when he makes this raise, so this is why Nadi's taking his time to think about this.
Yeah, I mean, you could theoretically do this with some sort of like ace wheel type hand. I mean, even a 6-5 that's suited that has a backdoor flush draw, you might want to choose that to semi-bluff with.
And there aren't a lot of deuces in his range either.
No, you
probably wouldn't risk blowing off his action with pocket 4s.
No, he doesn't have a set of 4s, being a full house. You know, hard to know, obviously, exactly what he's doing this with in terms of value, but, you know, if he's putting some overpairs in there,
I'm just
what a
trying
fold.
to give credit for the fold there. That's
that's a great fold. It's just a great laydown.
Just trying to give you lots of reasons that you might
fold 9s.
Consider. Right.
I mean, the one thing is Badziakowski is certainly good enough and balanced enough to have bluffs in his range here, so that is a heck of a laydown.
And Badziakowski Does chase away both customers.
I feel like he got the minimum.
He did get the minimum.
That has to be a little frustrating for him. You know, you have kings versus nines, and you get a 4 deuce deuce flop. You're thinking, I should be able to get at least a couple of streets of value there.
I am receiving word from Rabbit Comms, however, that the turn card was a 9.
Oh, look, nice play.
Yeah.
Really nice play, Makita.
That's what I like to do when I chase away all my action with kings there. I go, that turn is probably a 9.
Almost definitely. Or a 3, who knows?
Right?
I mean, he had to fade 6 outs.
So many outs. It's about 4 more outs than my opponents generally need.
Tom Dwan. Tom Dwan, by the way, also an ambassador for Triton Poker now.
Holds all the way around to Kuznetsov in the small blind.
How did Ibinger get all those chips? 3 times starting stack already with 748,000.
Yeah, not bad.
Pretty amazing. Look at the picture and look at him right there.
It's a live feed.
It's unreal. It's the only look he has.
That's what he looks like all the time. Kuznetsov raise folds. Excuse me, limp folds.
Just a who's who of the poker world here in Montenegro at Maestral Resort and Casino. Tom Dwan with 223,000 chips, 56 big blinds, plenty. Just a little bit below starting stack. Saw an interview that he had with Triton Poker, talking about an injured ankle. I hope it's better, Tom.
No, I didn't.
Joe Stapleton, David Tuckman here.
I was just going to order something. It's okay. Can I get some more still water? Thanks.
Still waters run the deepest. So does Tom Dwan. Jesus Cortez in the hijack. You know why they call it the hijack?
Why is that?
That was Treetop Strauss's favorite position. Jack Treetop Strauss's favorite position. So they would call it the hijack because they knew it was always him.
Yeah.
Is that true?
Yeah.
It's a great story.
Totally true.
That's amazing.
A lot
What
of
percentage of our audience knows who he is?
Well, a lot of people think he's the guy that invented all it takes is a chip in a chair because of an erroneous Wikipedia article, when in fact I was the one that came up with that phrase in 2014.
Nuts.
But Treetop Jack was the guy that named the hijack after.
It's weird because I could have sworn I heard that phrase, but I probably heard a different variant.
Similar,
of it.
you know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying I came up with a concept. I'm just saying all it takes is a chip in a chair is a phrase 100% invented by me in 2014.
No pre-bet for the stream? For the show? No.
Take a look at the outer table. If you didn't think our feature table was stacked enough, there you have another feature table. David Peters on his right. Daniel Cates, Jungle Man. Sam Greenwood, Linus. Paul Foy. It's just an unbelievable lineup that is really a lot of fun to cover. 45 entries so far, 35 remain, so 10 people have already fallen by the wayside. Blinds are 2,000, 4,000 with a 4,000 ante.
Richard Young has been added to this table.
10,000.
Starting stack in this event, $1 million Hong Kong will get you 250,000 in starting chips.
Who won the short deck event?
That's a great question. Winford you.
Winfred came back.
Yeah, he sure did.
Oh, Winfred.
Ike just couldn't hold in the all-in situations.
Yeah, you got to work on that. I'll talk to Ike about maybe I can help him.
Sam Greenwood all in over the raise of Richard Young, who calls.
Yeah, not many chips there.
Greenwood still looking pretty good for a double up here. Oh, but an 8 on the turn. Does put a third heart out there. Sam cannot re-get there, and now he'll have to rebuy.
1 million Hong Kong. Only gets you so far. If he wants to re-enter, he'll have to do that for another million. Nice little pot there for Young, who's up to 280,000.
That was my big plan.
We're back at it tomorrow. We'll be covering day 2
didn't take the big
of this
blind.
event.
Change. What do you mean?
No.
Big
I
blind.
big blind.
Change. I give him 6, I didn't. Thank you.
Yeah.
I give him
Give
1,000 back.
Say one.
One.
Yeah, so, yeah.
4,000 big
Registration
blind.
open
Yeah,
until
correct.
tomorrow.
So that's it. Right, I give him
Here.
6 from the pot. Yeah, I didn't take the big blind.
Thank you.
Couple of levels left to play tonight, 1 hour each. Tomorrow there'll be 2 levels before registration closes.
While there's a lull in the action, take a moment to wish my wife a happy birthday.
Hey, happy birthday, Molly.
If anybody asks, if she ever asks you guys at home, if you ever bump into her, you can say that I said happy birthday on the stream.
She's definitely not listening.
No, she's working right now. Somebody's got to support the family.
It must be such a break for her to go deal with like a bunch of immature children instead of you.
Right, yeah. Can you imagine that life? Working all day with a bunch of 8-year-olds to come home to me. I feel so bad for her.
Did you bet
What a
that
saint.
river with just a king?
Raise and take it, Richard Young.
I have not followed the action. Did you bet the flop or
I bet flop, check turn, top pair.
is it heads up or freehand?
300, I bet. Call, like, he was over there and he folded. Or
Well, I don't know your hand. I only know you have the
king
king.
eight suited.
Sorry.
I don't think so. But I don't remember what flush draw was out there on the turn.
Spades. I did not have spades.
But there was a check X of spades. If that was possible or not.
I'm trying to think. No, it was 9x of spades.
Larson in the cutoff.
Raise 9,000? 9,000.
I don't know much about that, gentlemen.
I know 9 was not a spade.
We were doing fake facts in chat about Dan Larson. Turns out that he was a World War II super soldier who was cryogenically frozen, was supposed to be woken up only in time for World War III. Unfortunately, they ran out of cash. Got him out early in 2017, and now he's a superstar poker player.
I would pay $16 to see that movie. That sounds great. Good job, chat. Paul Foy calling from the small blind with ace-3. Jungle Man in there as well with 6-4.
Ooh,
And,
fun flop. Pure, pretty little flop. Ace, king, king. Top pair for Foy.
And of course, this is going to favor the original raiser, but we can see that Paul Foy actually has the best hand. All that in mind, though, you think about it. Late position open can be fairly wide. Generally speaking, the player calling out of the small blind is going to have the narrowest, tightest range. Sure enough, Foy does have the best hand here.
Checks over to Larson, who checks 2 of spades, the deuce of spades.
Don't know if Foy can get any action. That might be what he's considering right here. But he almost definitely has the best hand. At least that's what he's thinking. Just going to put a little bet out there. Nutbluff420 says, Tuck, why did you say current on Twitter? Referring to my tweet to my wife when I said happy birthday to my current wife. As Joe just pointed out, she's a saint. There's a reasonable chance that she won't stay with me for the long haul.
Well, saints perform miracles and often die a martyr. So, story checks out. Aido folds Jack Deuce. Dan Larson, Ace Jack suited. Fine looking hand for a fine looking man.
Both true. Raise to 9,000, just a little bit over minimum raise. I have heard grumbles on the internet about how the high stakes community can be boring because it's the same old players playing against the same things with the same stakes. And after watching the Triton series at home and now here in Montenegro, I can, without question, say you're wrong. This is fantastic.
Wrong.
Yeah.
R-O-N-G.
Yeah, it's kind of like, I mean, do you get tired of watching the Golden State Warriors play the Houston Rockets? Or,
absolutely.
You know, it's just, no, I always want to watch the best at what they do.
I just don't do sports.
Battle.
More pressure if you can.
Larson has flopped the nut flush draw. Peters with nada. Free turn card. Brings the 10 of spades. Larson knuckles back a second time. And there's a queen on the river. Ace Jack is the best hand. And Larson's going to take down this pot. Good question, Timothy 1991. Who do we think will fire the most bullets? I'm not sure that's a title that anyone wants to hold.
Hard to know. Look at Paul Foy's stack, though. Not Paul Foy. How's that? On 641,000 chips. Linus on 424,000. The aforementioned good-looking Dan Larson at 345,000. Nobody short-stacked here with 43 big blinds. Our short stack here is Daniel Cates at 173,000. But yeah. Going back to what I was saying, sorry, I am never going to get tired of watching the best in the world do what they do so well. Sergio Aido with the ace-jack under the gun. We are playing with a shot clock, as always, here at Triton. Each player has 30 seconds to act on their hand. Each street. If you need more time than that, you get little time chips. You can toss that one in the middle, and you get 30 seconds extra. For the vast majority of these players, they use them once in a while. If you're Christoph Vogel saying you use them all in the first level. Do you have a best guess on who might rebuy the most?
I mean, there's some folks who've been busted out already. We know that Sam Greenwood busted out once. We know that Tan Schwinn has busted out at least once.
I mean, it has to be somebody who's already busted out, who also has an appetite to just go for it.
Well, the thing is, I don't think any of these guys don't have the appetite. It's only a matter of who runs the worst in the early stages of this tournament. That's going to be the guy that rebuys. This tournament is going to have such a huge prize pool and ultimately such a small field to have to defeat to get to it that I think it's probably a bad move for anyone.
Kids back to the internet.
to walk away from this tournament before the rebuys are done, before re-entries close.
I've been around. I'm not. You want to send me back too?
3-bet from Peters, and the 3-bet gets through.
He didn't say anything.
Yeah, only go if he goes.
Yes. Yeah. What? That's not fair at all. I've been around the block.
You've been around the block.
I'm living on the streets, and I've been down multiple different streets.
4th Street, 5th Street.
You guys have seen.
I think I can safely say that neither one of us should rebuy or buy in the first place.
No, correct.
Yeah. Fairly confident in my no limit Holdem game, but against this field, I would be a decided underdog.
All right, here's a what if for chat and for you, David Tuckman. If someone said that they would give you $2,500 or free roll you into this event for
every time I say that,
10% of yourself, which do you take?
So basically, I get 12,500 equity in this one. Just one bullet, though, I assume.
One bullet.
Or 2,500. I would take the bullet. I would
take
play.
the bullet. You'd take the chance.
I think I have more than that much. I mean, am I worth if I were to play this event, could I sell myself at like 0.2?
Maybe.
Yeah, I think I have more equity than that. I mean, poker is, we talked about this. Poker, there's enough luck and there's enough variance in the game that no matter how awful you are, if you know how to play the game, you should be okay. Ace-Jack versus Queen-Jack, and there's a Jack.
This was a 3-bet pot.
This is what it's like on the TV table of the Triton main event. Me with all the internet's finest, Paul Foy, and whatever I am.
Is he making a video? This is a real troubling card for Linus Laliger.
Linislav, and no one says a word here except me. I'm the only one talking, but I'm still fighting. I'm still fighting. We're fighting, right, Paul?
Yes.
Yes, yeah, we're fighting. Yeah, Lehigh. That's all I can think to say.
Lehigh University?
This went check on the flop, by the way. I don't want to interrupt Kate's, but what a hand we've developing here in a 3-bet pot. There's 74,000 in there.
These were not two small stacks. We've got over 100,000 in the middle. Both players are likely to be quite excited about their hand.
Chinese platform.
Huh? Post on Chinese?
Yes, you get 10 million likes, 30 million likes.
Oh, yeah, 30 million likes.
Diamonds got there, but...
You know what? Maybe I will do that.
Larson's holding the ace of diamonds.
Some people
Yeah, and both these players
advertise
checked the
to
flop.
Chinese.
Definitely under-repping their hands.
I'm working on my likes. I'm getting lots of likes. Followers, stuff.
Dan Cates, social media guru.
Yeah. I was inspired by a couple people who have millions of followers.
Yeah, he figured out that if you
No,
put
I
half-naked
can do
women in your photos, that people will
Do
like
all
them
this shit
more.
for free.
More work.
The women aren't
I bought
half
a
naked.
piece of a company for 30,000 euros, and this motherfucker with 5 million followers didn't do anything. He got, like,
Language.
a bigger piece than me. Thinking, what the fuck's going on?
Larson bet 35,000, a really small bet. I think he's probably trying to induce a raise.
Well, and also, I don't know if he thinks his opponent actually has that much. I mean, the way the hand played out.
Right.
Linus doesn't need to have a big hand here. He could even have an ace high.
I guess it's hard for him to have that much here, so yeah.
Right.
What are you doing right now? Are you doing something?
Nope.
I mean,
I don't post on social media.
Yeah.
I just play poker.
Laliger just called.
No,
He's a god.
Right now, no one's
Just called.
How do you just call that?
Koniji record yesterday.
I mean, I guess the simple answer is you only get action if you're beat.
That's not true, though. That's the thing. That's the
Right.
amazing thing. That is an amazing You know, the best players in the world, you know, they lose the least when they get coolered.
Yeah.
And what an example of that. Linus checks back the flop, just calls turn and just calls a small bet, which would induce a lot of players to raise the river, and he doesn't bite. Great play by Linus, man. He saved himself at least 100,000 chips, if not all, by the way. I mean, you could have made the argument that all the chips go in. What a play. Let us know what you think about that one.
You guys are going to see.
Just like the teaser.
You guys are going to see for sure. This is a great idea. This is it.
Slide over to the table. Back to short. No, it's not short, Jack. It's just Peter Jetting again. I can't say it enough. That was just really a phenomenal play, just by Linus to lose the absolute minimum. Cortez with King Jack and a hijack.
Yeah, I just don't. I mean, I don't know how to say anything about that without seeming like I'm taking away from the accomplishment of just calling there.
Right.
But I know that I just call there, but I know that when I do it,
it's
wrong.
No, listen. Most standard players, most of us, most amateurs, we look at it and go, well, Diamond's got there. I'll just call.
Yeah.
I don't have the absolute nuts, so I'll just call.
Right.
But that's not the case here. I mean, here, Linus is going to bluff raise sometimes
He's
in the river.
thinking on so many more levels than that.
Right. He's going to be bluff raising sometimes. He can certainly raise for value with many hands that are not the nuts. I mean, certainly the fact that Diamond's got there make it a little less likely that you want to raise, but you're not just always afraid of the nuts.
The chat pros also think just calling there is standard.
Yeah. How about just calling the turn too, guys? Was that standard also? And checking back the flop? All that was standard?
We've got Kuznetsov versus Cortez, and they've both flopped a flush draw. Are we going to see another ridiculous cooler situation here?
Or who knows? It's check, and they just call down. I don't know.
Right,
I mean,
but
for
ridiculous
those of you at
cooler
home-
without all the money going in, but it was still a cooler.
I mean, for those of you at home, let me know the next time that you're in a 3-bet pot, you flop top pair, turn trips, and you only lose 2 small streets of value.
Time to like do anything in your phone, you know, you just putting it away and just always in the game, always focused.
And by the way, if you're playing in a game like that regularly, pick a different game.
And a full deck, you just see them being bored.
True Teller bets 10,000 with his ace-4 of clubs. He's got the nut flush draw, of course, some backdoor straight possibilities, as well as just ace-high, which is the best hand right now. Cortez drawing very slim, as we can see. He doesn't know that, though.
And the deuce on the turn does put additional draws out there for Kuznetsov. He's got a wheel draw now.
2 big blind pot, limp pot, people are checking some. Yeah, okay, he still needs to, you know, be in control of everything.
Yeah, just 6 outs here for Cortez. This would be a pretty ugly beat.
It's impressive.
If you're Kuznetsov, you end up losing this one.
It's hard to convince yourself to put so much effort for such a tiny extra value.
Yeah, most of the time it's nothing, and then maybe sometimes you get some idea or something.
All that said, by the way, I agree with you in the sense that the vast majority of, you know, recreational players are just calling.
I'm just calling, but probably for the wrong reasons, for like an oversimplified reason that
we're scared of the nuts.
Will lose me more money in the long run, yeah. Or not gain me as much money, I should say. Cortez moves all in.
He is all in for 210,000.
That's
Cortez figured out the one way maybe he can win the hand.
Bit of an overbet.
Off the fold.
How many more levels. You guys
This and one more.
This and
1.5 hours.
Like, how do you put your opponent on worse clubs?
Well, yeah. Your opponent could have a set right now. You could have an overpair.
Could have 2 10s, yeah.
Figure out if you're gonna blind off.
I mean, if Kuznetsov thinks that his ace is good, he knows the 5 is good, he knows the club is good. It's not getting a particularly good price, as he's got to call about 185,000 to win 293. So he's not getting a good price. He's going to use these time chips. Four, 5, by the way, also got there if Cortez happened to have that hand.
Cortez really playing out of position work for him here. Pretty rare. And he gets the fold.
Cortez found the one way he could win the hand.
Yeah.
Well done.
And time for our twice hourly reminder that, yes, we know he looks like Pete Sampras. I'm sure he knows it as well. Thank you for your comments.
What did chat say, by the way? How many of you would take? Would you take $2,500, or
A lot
would
of
you
people
take
said
10%?
they were taking the 10%. I probably didn't do. I was doing the numbers on the fly. I probably didn't make it. I probably should have made it 10,000 for 10,000 in equity.
Yeah, in that case, I'm taking the 10,000.
It's a harder decision.
Yeah,
I'm,
but
taking,
no,
I'm taking the
Talking to my
10,000.
hands in Russian sometimes. When like we, let's say, having a dinner and then got into a Russian conversation.
I think the vast majority of us are losing money in this tournament. So if you're going to give me the actual cash equivalent, I'll take the cash.
But to win the WSOP main event, you got to run good for 10 days. To run good here, to win here, you got to run good for 2.
Poker players,
Yeah.
that would happen all the time. If I was the only non-Dutch person, they just.
You're also discounting the fun that you would have playing against the best in the world, which is kind of cool, for free.
Hopefully some camera time. Tom Dwan raising under the gun with ace-jack. Matthias Eibinder with ace-king suited on the button.
Well, we know what 2005 Tom Dwan would do. What does 2019 Tom Dwan do?
What would the other one do?
He'd like call and then like check raise, flop, and then just barrel. But he wouldn't have ace jack. He'd have like 6-5 or something like that.
I've done almost no commentary on Tom Dwan.
He's gonna use a time chip here. Yeah, way back in the day when I was covering the Full Tilt $1 Million Cash Game.
Yeah.
I got to cover a cash game with him, Phil Ivey, and Patrick Antonius.
Fun.
Yeah. Pretty insane. Tom's gonna let it go.
What a fold.
Yeah. He's older. He's wiser.
What a fold.
He's seen blood. He knows how to pick his spots right now.
Believe the things he's seen.
Peter Jetton has had a pretty good day already. Finished in 3rd place earlier today.
I forgot he's already played a final table today.
Goes nets off, raising to 10,000 from the hijack. Not going to get any action.
Fine, you guys, whatever. I didn't want to play this hand anyway.
Now listen, he can't get action online. He can't get action here.
Yeah, someone in chat was just saying he just sits at empty tables online. Nobody wants to play him.
It's like me as a kid.
Except they don't want to play him because he's too good.
Oh.
I don't think that's the reason why they don't want to play with you.
Oh.
You were too good at pooping your pants. Well, Dave's actually crying right now. Did I touch on something? I'm so sorry.
Whatever, man. Whatever, dude. It's fine. I'll get over it.
Action's folded around to Naughty.
Naughty kind of looks a little like Daryl Fish.
Ameti Naughty, yeah.
I mean, he's not a dead ringer for him, but just a little bit. Raising the button with King-8 suited. Dwan in the small blind with 10-9. Gonna let it go. Cortez in the big blind with Ace-4. Certainly gonna play this hand. Standard to call. See what he does. By the way, shout out to the staff here at the Maestral Resort and Casino and also the dealers. I have the hospitality that I have received, and everybody, and the dealers are great. Do a bang-up job here.
There was a guy that delivered some food to my room a couple of days ago. Whoa, boy! Nut flush flopped.
Yeah, and top pair here for Naughty, so you expect that he'll lose a chip or two on this one. Check, check. Cortez checks again. Sneaky, sneaky. Naughty checks again. Nobody wants to put any chips in the pot. Doesn't anybody bet anymore?
Okay. I mean, these are just dangerous players. Plus, there's ICM considerations.
There's no ICM considerations right now. Absolutely none.
You sure there's no ICM considerations when registration's still open? Cortez flops the nut flush, by the way, with the exact hand he shoved into last time he had a flush draw.
Yeah, he can beat Ace-4 and he can win with it. He is good. And Naughty just folds. He raises the button, he flops top pair, and he loses no chips. How is that possible?
These guys are too good. There's no money in poker. Everybody's solid. Everybody's solid.
I mean, how disheartening that must be. If I'm Cortez and I'm watching this later on, I'm thinking, cool, I got Truth Teller to fold Ace-4. That was awesome. How did I not get value out of a top pair? Not just at least one straight. I mean, the King-8, it's not a great hand, obviously, on an all-club board. He's got King-8 of spades. I'm not expecting him to go broke, but one street of value?
I have no words.
Ibinger picks up kings.
And Bodjakowski folds Ace-King. Well,
nobody folds pre-flop. Everybody gets involved.
No, but the Ace-Jack folded too. Tom Dwan folded Ace-Jack to a 3-bet.
Very different feel in the main event than we saw in event number 1 with Steve O'Dwyer, where the chips were flying around, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, they were just warming up for this, I guess.
Where's Wang?
Stretching their legs. Where is Wang when you need him? Jetton folds the big blind. Nope. Time for them to put their shields up. Well, this is hilarious. Ace 10-6. Man, freaking kings. So ridiculous. Does it get any less annoying, like when you're at this level?
I'm not at this level. I don't know.
Marley, I got a question for you.
I mean, I prefer this. If I'm going to lose, I'd rather see the ace than, like, have my opponent have, like, 6-7, and the flop comes out Jack 6-7, and I end up going broke because I don't put him on bottom 2 pair. I wonder, now this is actually a legit question. I kind of wonder, if you're not getting paid off when you defend the big blind, is there less incentive? I mean, if there's no implied odds because nobody pays off, is there less incentive to defend?
That's a really good question.
I don't know. I mean, but it's
maybe we'll get there eventually.
Ibinger bets 4,500. This is kind of a spot that I normally wouldn't expect somebody to bet. You know, he's got the board kind of, he's way ahead or he's way behind. He also has the king of spades. You know, some of the hands that you want your opponent to call with are flush draws, and you have the king of spades.
22,000.
Hello.
Badziakowski is going to raise.
22. 22.
That is more than 4x.
Take everything that you thought you knew about No Limit Holdem and throw it out the window.
How you doing?
If I'm creating a balanced checking and betting strategy, this is the kind of flop that I might check with 2 kings, especially with the king of spades.
Wow, he calls.
Badziakowski has a very aggressive image. People know that he's capable of bluffing.
I mean, if he was bluffing, he just bluffed for a quarter of his stack.
Yeah, and the problem is that you have the king of spades. If you're Ibinger, you got to think, okay, what is my opponent bluffing with? You know, I at least partially block some flush draws, some gut shots as well. Ibinger bet's so small, though, maybe he's thinking he induced that. Check, check. Badziakowski now checks it back. Oh, and look at the river. So he raises the flop, checks back the turn, kind of feign a little bit of weakness. And then rivers trips. Pot is already 72,000. Ibinger, probably reasonable to think that he has the best hand right now. Going on 1 minute. Ibinger thinking this one through. He decides to finally check.
I don't think we're going to see a check behind with trips this time.
At this point, I don't know. I agree with you.
I mean, not that we saw a check behind last time. We saw a just call.
Right.
But I don't think we'll see the passive action.
Yeah, and depending on Badziakowski's sizing, I find it difficult to believe Ibinger would fold, but you never know.
70,000.
Bet 70,000 out of a 99,000 chip stack. Against a normal player, this is rarely a bluff.
Right, but clearly Bodzikowski is capable of doing this as a bluff. I mean, the one thing that we can definitely tell is, you know, when world-class players play against world-class players, you know, they are going to deviate from the standard. They have to be creative, and that's exactly what we've seen. Makes for a lot of fun. Action back to Ibinger, who's going to use some time chips.
He's paying in advance. He knows he's going to be in the tank for a while on this one.
With this sizing, this is really just a bluff catcher. Don't believe Bodzikowski would bet this large with a hand worse than kings. Another time chip in the middle.
It's closing in on 90 seconds in the tank. I mean, he's got to change his read, basically, right? For him to get away from this.
And he folds.
He does fold.
Just a fantastic laydown.
I mean, one of the good things is that you know you can find out later.
Yeah.
Right?
If you're one of those players that needs to sleep well at night, you'll know later.
Or just for informational purposes, you know, if you want to add it into what you know about this particular player.
It was a weird hand.
It was a weird hand. He's pretty pleased with himself.
You'll probably get to see it, though.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I'm really curious. I'm looking forward to it.
You just have to learn how to speak
Here's a look
Russian,
at
and you
True Teller. Yeah, a lot of what the kids call, or maybe they don't call it anymore, fancy play syndrome here. Players thinking outside the box, taking some really creative lines.
Well, fancy play syndrome is to describe fancy play that doesn't work out.
I could argue that some of this fancy play is not working out.
I don't know. You're a braver man than I.
Well, I mean, I'm not disputing that all these players are fantastic,
right?
And that I am a huge underdog, and I'd be burning my money if I played in this. I'm not saying that. I'm just pointing out, you know, the gentleman who's smiling right there, Makita. Did he make the maximum on that hand? Maybe he did.
I mean, he did get that raise in.
He got the raise in on the flop, and then check back the turn, and then bomb river.
I don't know. I don't have an answer for that.
You know what? I'm willing to put myself on the line here and look stupid. I'm okay with that. Again, though, I'll go back to what I said earlier. I think when you're playing world-class players versus world-class players, these players are going to think outside the box. They're going to be creative. They're going to take non-standard lines, and I think that's awesome.
It's going to be
really cool.
More levels than Inception. There's
Yes.
going to be a lot of leveling going on.
Get a raise here from Ibinger with a suited baby ace. Naughty. 3-betting from the hijack. Dwan thinks about it with ace-10. He lets it go.
Don't say it blocked me.
Maybe I did. Don't say
Amity
you
naughty.
found something better than 10.
I did.
You did?
Yeah, we don't have the payouts
Yeah,
on this event
body
yet.
by
Its
now.
registration is still open.
At King 10.
Amity Naughty looks like the Jedi you're not really sure if is a good guy or a bad guy.
I don't believe it.
And if you want to bet on whether or not he is a good guy or a bad guy, you can do it at 12bet.com.
Because experience
You're
matters.
gonna find out in 25 minutes. We can make a bet.
Facial expression.
Is he a Sith?
What gets me the most.
Or is he a Jedi?
Yeah, and some people in the chat are pointing out that having the king of spade helps a lot.
You love it so
There's a few of the chat pros mentioned. Yeah, because that is a card that your opponent may have if they are bluffing.
It was better.
Ocean Man says Phil Hellmuth equals fancy play syndrome. My mind is still kind of in short deck mode. I'm just waiting for Jetton to just shove.
I had the same issue when I first started calling the action after changing over.
What's he doing? Just shove the ace-king. You've only got 30 antes.
Especially because the first like 3 or 4 hands I called, I didn't see a card under 6.
Widzy points out the commentator is a massive whale. No, I've been watching my weight.
He's
more
in
like
pretty good,
a baby
he's
whale.
in pretty good shape for a guy his age, I'm not going to lie.
Wow.
I mean, if you guys prefer, I could just sit here, we could call the action and just tell you how wonderful every single play is, in our opinion, or we could give you our opinion.
Really?
It's up to you.
I'm happy for Dave to give his opinion, and I'm happy to try to counterbalance that with another opinion, which is basically all I ever do in the booth.
They have that big deal with the UFC now, and the UFC used to be on Fox Sports, but now isn't anymore or something? Okay.
And Fox bought 5% of PokerStar or Stars Group or whatever for $250 million.
I don't know if you saw that news. Pretty interesting.
Seems like a lot.
Tom
Aren't
Dwan,
the shares
ace queen.
publicly available for cheaper than that?
Not for 5%.
KY Hop pointing out that Dwan spelled backwards is God.
Oh, okay. I didn't know they'd gotten back up that high.
I'm not sure, but I think somewhere around there.
Dwan open ace queen, 3-bet from Ibinger with pocket jacks. Budjakowski out of there. 1 jack folded. We saw Dwan get away from ace-jack a few hands ago, and he got 3-bet by ace-king. This time he is not dominated, and far less likely to be dominated with ace-queen. It doesn't look like he has a ton of chips in front of him. However, 200,000 is still plenty of big blinds, and here we go again with the sunglasses.
Yeah, you see, he still has 50 big blinds behind. King 9-9.
So, Dwan misses.
Action on Ibinger, deciding what to do with 2 red jacks. Shunted 1, 2, 3. Shunted 23 says, I want Tuck to communicate, but I think it's commentate, in whale sounds only, which I like. That's
It's
well
funny,
played, sir.
I actually almost attempted to make a whale sound when the first comment got read, but I was like, probably not going to pull it off. And then, you know.
I don't actually know what a whale sounds like.
Oh, you tricked me into doing it.
Nice.
Ibinger Continuation betting this flop for 28,000. This can't be a very appealing proposition to call here with ace queen.
Yeah, he's getting a pretty good price.
You got 3-bet pre-flop. And all of the value hands that are 3-betting you pre-flop are beating you.
Yes, all the value hands, but not all the bluffs.
Or maybe ace-jack. No, you are beating some bluffs.
And you are beating ace-jack.
Bluffs and ace-jack. And he does decide to take those really good pot odds and see a turn card. Which
The real thing is, when he's getting that good a price, if he's folding anything but like a king or a 9, he's probably just folding too much. And that might be the case here. Decides to call with what was nut no pair. It's only got 184,000 chips behind. Pot's 140. Ibinger now checks.
Slows it down.
Dwan checks. 8 of diamonds on the river.
So we looked at this from Dwan's perspective. Let's look at it from the Jack's perspective. With this action, you've got to be pretty happy with your Jacks, right? After it goes check twice?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think he feels entirely comfortable after 3-betting pre getting called on the flop. If Dwan had bet the turn also, you know, you're going to feel a little bit better about that. It doesn't mean you necessarily have the best hand right now, but I think checking is certainly a reasonable play right here.
So we're looking at a check bluff catch situation?
Yeah, I would imagine so. And it looks like Dwan gives up. And I think he kind of knows he's behind. That was not a look of a guy who's kind of happy to get the showdown with ace-queen.
Well, he did get a really great price on the flop bet. So there's that.
Did you play a hand yet on this table? No. Got 2 wizards.
Let's slide over to the table here. Jungle Man raising to 10,000 from the cutoff. Peters calls on the button. Sergio Ido calling with 6-5. He flops a gut shot, the 6-5. Nobody has a king in their hand. Ace-Jack is the best hand. These players all have between 202,000 and 245,000 chips.
Ido with the best draw.
你不参与一下？
And he folds.
那断牌。
Understandably so. I think that was his card.
Yeah, Ido would have made a straight. Unfortunately for him.
Oh, man, that's got to feel so terrible. Oh, man.
45.
Kate's continuing to fire. Peters called the flop with ace-jack.
Ah, the live read.
1-5, 5-6.
reads. Huh? What?
Show 1, show all. Yeah, this is the rule. I cannot stop.
It's the fucking.
Yeah.
No.
Show 1, show all.
No.
It's good for the game.
Yes.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
Show us like you showed us your naked body.
Sorry. Sorry. Fuck, I can't show you any more hands, Paul. Okay, I text you.
Since we're doing kind of like he looks like this guy, he looks like this guy game. Daniel Cates, Dexter.
Sure. A little bit. I don't know. I think the body type, as far as a guy that looks way more jacked than he should be, and the scoop necks.
Dexter was
I'll give you that.
Good show for the first few seasons, and I don't know what happened to it. Went off the rails.
Ooh, last couple of seasons were, yeesh.
It's hard to keep a show going for 7 years.
The first couple of seasons, great. The next 3 or 4, bad. The last 2, terrible.
Yeah, maybe that might be the case. I think I probably got attached to it after the first 2 seasons, and I ended up watching like.
The third one's really good.
I watched like 4, and then like in the middle of the 5, I was like, "This is stupid.
Yes,
What am I watching?"
And then 7 and 8 were.
I gave up.
Top pair for Linus Love.
Yeah, and Peters has some some runner equity here with the 6 and a club out there. Linus checks top pair. Peters is going to get a shot at it.
So Peters semi-bluffing. Hoping to turn something where he can fire again. Club, a 9.
9 of clubs.
A 5, sure. Even better. But he is not going to see a turn for cheap, and probably not at all.
And this is the second time we've seen these world-class players just raising with top pair. Might not be something you see in your local casino if you play 2-5 or 1-2.
No, you definitely see it in your local casino, but I think it's for totally different reasons.
Okay, fair enough. The Troll Bosser says, and if you're wondering, yes, Cates is jacked under that T-shirt. Show one, show all.
I forgot to take a piece of you.
Huh?
Feel good today says Dexter was amazing. 1-3.
Yeah, exactly.
I might refuse if you offer.
Oh, no. Are they taking Linus?
That's not fair. No, we like him. Got to balance the tables, though.
How would you have done if you bet?
We'll get more of them. I
Alex
promise.
Foxen was brought to this table somehow under the radar.
I was so busy staring at Jungle Man's body, I didn't notice Foxen. Maybe, I don't know if you know this answer or not.
What's that?
John Joenda not playing.
He's not playing?
John Joenda.
This event.
Yeah. They got all the sims and stuff for full deck, but short deck. No.
No sim.
There are sims.
You have.
What?
You have sim? For short deck?
I definitely tuned into this to watch Paul Foy and Dan Jungleman Cates talk
I
about
don't need sims now.
Sims.
I am the math.
Oh my God, did you just say I am the math?
Huh?
GDO.
Sorry?
Short deck.
Yeah.
I am the math. Fantastic.
The 225 behind? Yeah.
Yeah, I would listen to that on a podcast. Sergio raising to 11,000 with deuces. Larson calls. Foxen's got 9s in the big blind.
I am Sims.
I am Sims now.
Fortune Poker says, do we know what the Chinese characters mean on the Triton logo?
I do not.
I don't either, but I'll find out. You know what? They might just mean Triton Poker, right? But I'm going to find out for you. Three bet here from Foxen.
Alex Foxen is an absolute monster. Seemingly wins tournaments at will. Won the same event in back-to-back years at the Seminole Hard Rock Poker Open. He's got a chance to three-peat it this summer.
Did Ido just 4-bet all in? Yeah, he did. Ido 4-bet all in. Foxen said, okay, cool.
No problemo, and it's nines versus deuces.
So Foxen a 4-1 favorite here to double up.
He's got
effectively, yeah, no, full double up here and eliminate Sergio Ido.
Yeah, Ido just covered.
Welcome to the table, Alex Foxen.
Told you.
So we haven't seen many fireworks pre-flop. I mean post-flop, but pre-flop we're seeing plenty. Nothing there at all for Ido.
One card left to come.
Only a duck on the river will save Ido, otherwise he's going to rebuy. Or at least have that option to rebuy. All of his chips head over to Mr. Foxen.
Whether or not he invests another $1 million Hong Kong is up to him, but he is down at least 1. 1,000,000,000.
Just like that, Foxen up to 500,000 chips. Critical thinker pointing out lots of muscles at the table.
Oh, yeah, good point.
Should probably get Jason Kuhn at this table, huh?
That'd be a fun little, do like a draft of the most jacked poker players and have a little CrossFit challenge.
Go for that. There are some women in poker as well. You can get involved in that challenge for sure.
What number do you think that you would go in the draft?
How many people are in?
Everyone in that room.
Everybody in the room?
Yeah.
Maybe in the 40s?
40s? I mean, I would put myself higher.
Oh, okay.
I would put myself in the 20s somewhere probably.
What you playing, Jungle?
At worst.
Like 250?
If they know my true skill level. I'm actually not that weak of a human.
No, you work out.
I do sometimes. It's been a while because I've been on the road for like 2 months straight, but in general, I do. All right, let's pick up the action here. Kate's raising pocket sevens. Foxen calling 9-8 of hearts. Fwa with Jack 6 of hearts.
Yeah, Jack 6 flops 2 pair. But as we can see, it's not good. Kate's with the over pair.
Yeah, no, I don't. The 2 pair thing, that's not me. The 4s and 6s. You asked me yesterday.
Right.
Kate's continues.
Paul Fwa with a ton of chips as well.
Yeah, he's got both players covered. Foxen in a similar situation that we saw David Peters before, where there's plenty of sweaty turns.
Yeah.
In fact, that's what we should call the workout challenge.
Sweaty turns.
Sweaty turns.
I kind of like that. By the way, the gym here at the Maestral Resort and Casino, the spa is fantastic. And the gym also, they've got a nice pool.
How much are they paying you every time you say this? You get discounts?
I did talk to the manager here. He hooked me up with some food. So,
Paul folds. And we know there are a fewer sweaty cards for Foxen to hit with 2 of those hearts folding. 1 in Dan's hand. Probably one of the sweatier cards in Dan's hand, but he catches one anyway.
Yeah, for sure. That's one of the better cards in the entire deck for him, as he now has a gut shot and a flush draw.
Dan blocking the gut shot. Foxen does not improve any further. Left with only 9 high.
Doesn't mean he might not bluff at it. I mean, 9 high, a pretty horrific hand. No way he can win at showdown. He knows that.
Nine high. 9 high? Wow.
Daniel tapped the table kind of annoyed, as if like he thought his 7s were no good.
He is math.
Fox that hand. No, I won it. Yeah, 9 high and didn't bluff the river.
King bet river.
Didn't feel like you were gonna fold.
You're right, that wasn't.
Glad I didn't raise.
I have a 6.
Actually,
6? Wow. Yeah.
I should bet. Yeah.
Huh?
Flush draw on the turn. Oh, yeah.
You too?
5.
David Peters under the gun, 10-9.
5K, baby.
5.
He's out.
Nitty 4.
Richard Young,
Good one though.
Very nitty fold.
a member of the Macau Boys, we used to call them. Yeehaw.
I thought I was beaten by him.
I might be beat by him, but I mean.
Also, ni hao. Combine them?
Yeah, what the fuck?
Yeehaw.
I don't even know if I wanted you. I guess your fold is.
Young, 10,500 in the middle.
105.
And nobody fights back. And Young takes that one down.
You want to bet against me in the tournament, Paul?
Which tournament?
This one.
No, I'm your friend. I want you to win.
Yeah, I like that answer.
It's not against me. Why? You didn't bet big enough?
Is $1 million not enough for you, Dan? Oh boy, we got aces. We got ace king. Podjakowski, 3-betting. Rail dead.
Yeah, and he's not that deep. Started the hand with about 40 big blinds. These players, though, they've been magicians in terms of getting away from hands or minimizing losses. Let's see if Podjakowski can do it.
Dos veces. O sea, ¿de la segunda tenía? O... No. No, que no sabía. Sí. No. ¿Cómo veas? O sea, tú decides.
Just a call from Peter. Mr. Jetton just calls. Jetton checks.
Gotta love this flop when you have aces.
Yeah, heads up, this is a very favorable flop. Anytime the board is paired with, you know, a couple of low cards.
Low
it's
pairs.
Just, yeah, it's just...
King, king, queen. You're like, oh.
Right, yeah, you're not loving that. You know, the old Jack, Jack 10. But when the flop comes out like 3-3 queen,
yeah,
you're loving that because your opponent, you know, a queen is in your opponent's calling range.
They
The
can call
three's
you-
not.
They can call you with ace high.
Podjakowski is going to bet. And I imagine if you're going to take this line, if you're Peter Jetton, you're just calling here again. You want to make sure that if Podjakowski does have, say, a hand like ace-king or ace-queen or something like that, give him a chance to catch something or to continue bluffing at it.
Blinds have gone up, by the way. And what I believe will be the last level we'll be playing and broadcasting tonight. 2,500, 5,000 with a 5,000 big blind ante. And a 4 on the turn. Super safe still for pocket aces. I don't know if you guys can tell, but I always root for pocket aces.
Always. You like the best hand to win.
I like the best hand to win. Now, if the best hand gets outplayed, that I'm fine with.
I like that.
I just don't like suckouts.
Like Cortez's like shove with the king jack of clubs was kind of cool.
That was cool. Very cool.
Badziakowski checks back. Doesn't think he can get a pair to fold.
And maybe has the best hand. Maybe.
Yeah, there's certainly a chance. But if he doesn't have the best hand, on the 4 turn, is Jetton going to fold 5s? Is he going to fold 8s? Clearly, Badziakowski doesn't think so. But could Badziakowski use the queen on the river to try to get like pocket 5s to fold?
Oh, Tony G is here. The Phil Hellmuth of poker.
All in for Jetton.
Hired Tony G to run interference for him. You come in and distract everyone.
This is an interesting spot. Badziakowski's hand is kind of face up, he feels like. And if you were trying to get an ace-king to fold, this might be what you would do. You'd overbet, possibly. Obviously, we can see that Jetton actually has the hand.
All this yelling's triggering me. Dad?
Yeah, it looks like Makita's in his fold mode. And sure enough, he does. Nice laydown.
I didn't mean to leave the Nintendo on, Dad.
For me, if I ever ate like cereal in the living room. Oh.
What a performance, huh?
Did you advise your guy not to ride it?
Huh?
Friends of mine rode it to
Get a dealer change.
For some reason that hand was
Yes.
And as Joe said, blinds are up 2,500, 5,000 now.
No, it's here.
Like I said, I believe
I bring her up to 870,000.
the last level of the night.
Playing a different tournament than everybody else is. Jetton at 341 now. Tom Dwan treading water, but treading water, and the water's getting rougher as he only has 126,000 chips, or just 25 big blinds.
And that is just our feature table. We've got 2 feature tables.
What did you have?
And a few more out in the field.
Come on. Oh shit, sorry. No, I had to tell because otherwise I'm the one looking.
51 total entries so far. I predicted we might have around 80 total.
Yeah.
32 left at the moment.
I mean, even now, if you were to buy in right this second, you would have 50 big blinds. Plenty of play. I'm half expecting Phil Hellmuth to show up any minute now. That's not happening. Ibinger raising under the gun +1. Daniel DeVoris makes the call. Daniel finished second place to Bryn Kenny in event number 2. Played really well. I had a chance to talk to him in the poker room earlier this morning. I was really, really impressed with the way he handled himself in that particular match and at that final table. Pair of queens here, open-ended for Daniel. And a pair of jacks and a gut shot for Ibinger.
Check.
Pot is 34-5. I want to thank you all for joining us here. Everybody in chat wants to see what Tony G was up to there.
Just close your eyes and paint a mind picture like Daredevil. It's not hard. He's still going.
So Ibinger was the original raiser. Dvoris made the call from the cutoff. Check, bet, back over to Ibinger. He does make the call. Pot is now 50,500. Ace of spades on the turn. Check, check. Board pairs on the river. Queens are best right here. Not sure if we'll see a bet here.
Hello. No good?
Good call.
Sue? Yeah.
Check, check. Some more cautious play.
Yeah, and you can't beat the 9. You can't beat an ace. What are you trying to get value from? Pretty much exactly that hand. I think the check back is probably prudent. Dvoris takes that one.
Let him be prudent. Dvoris, the runner-up in event number 2.
So event number 1, winner Steve O'Dwyer. Event number 2, Bryn Kenny. Event number 3, Winford Yu. And of course, this is event number 5.
No.
Shh. Don't tell them why. Other feature table action. Top pair versus top pair. Paul Foy in trouble. Kicker trouble.
Yeah, and these players are very deep. And look how many chips are in there already. Yeah, this is a raise, a 3-bet, and a call. And this could get expensive for Foy. Kind of a little bit of a mini cooler in a 3-bet pot. Oh, that's an unfortunate turn card for Foxon. As weird as it might sound, you actually don't really want to turn 2 pair here.
Right.
Far more likely you'd get action if it was just a blank. Foxon bets 50,000.
Yep.
We can see Paul Foy is drawing dead.
But he's far more likely to know it now.
Yeah, and with 6s out there, he obviously realizes if his opponent has an ace, a queen is no good. There's the blank. Pot's 194,000. Inner monologue of each player. Please don't bet. Please don't bet. How much can I bet? How much can I bet?
Big sigh from Paul Foy facing a bet of 150,000. Probably really hating that ace, but might end up being the card that saves him from paying off this river bet.
Yeah, this is a 3-bet pot. Spades missed. I mean, Foxton's certainly good enough to represent the ace. Try to get Foy off a king. You guys wanted Tony G? We give you Tony G.
Man, oh man. Speak of the G.
We should probably do overtime tonight. Extra commentary, just Tony's at the table.
Everybody's about to get a solid 40 minutes of your G spot rubbed.
He makes the call.
Paul pays it off. Alex tables the ace-king immediately.
So despite the ace coming, he still gets paid.
And you got to credit Alex Foxton for sizing.
I mean, he also checked back the flop. You know, shows a little bit of deception. Just like that, Alex Foxton, our chip leader at the featured table. It took, what, like 14 minutes? I mean, there are times where you're just in the zone, you can do nothing wrong, and we have seen players over the last few years just kind of rotate through, whether it's, you know, Fedor, Daniel Coleman. And it seems like Alex Foxton is Justin Bonomo for a while,
it's
of
all
course.
the time there's these runs that happen in poker that we say will never be matched, and folks find ways to still.
Yeah. 6 months later, somebody matches it.
Stefan Sondheimer had a similar run.
Yeah. Foxton is just kind of in the midst of it right now. Tony F and G. I mean, what a legend of the game here. By the way, he folded 5-3.
Good fold. I'm sorry, are we playing the results game again right now? Or?
Yeah.
Okay.
Duh.
Sorry, terrible fold.
Right. Big flop for Paul Foy, who just lost a big hand. So this will be interesting. He has a pair of threes to go along with a flush draw. You can actually see that he's a slight favorite to win the hand. Has Kate's covered.
Ever so slight favorite. After losing big... Helping out the dealer there. After losing a big pot like that, I tend to play these hands very fast, which is probably a mistake. I just think it's a natural reaction to those of us who get frustrated.
Yeah, it's nice if you pick up a huge hand right after you lost a big one.
Yeah, why not?
People tend to think you might be tilting.
I'm like, they'll never suspect it, and then they just suck out of me.
Thanks.
Paul calls, and Paul misses. Tough run out there. Had a lot of outs, a 3, a jack, or a heart. I suspect Daniel goes for 3 streets of value here.
Such a disappointing run out. I was the favorite. He does indeed. Paul might as well push those chips back toward Daniel. Tony, I don't know if you should really be commenting on Paul's hand, even if you did see it.
Sure, Tony cares what you think.
Well, I'm saying what I think for the audience, not for Tony.
That's fair.
I want to show the whole thing.
Wait, I seen one.
You show one.
I seen one.
I saw that.
Seen one.
I saw the 10.
I saw the 10.
Set of 10s?
Yes.
You saw he got a 10?
You didn't see a 10. Not from Paul's hand.
I feel sick not playing.
I saw the 10. First guy is 10.
What was it?
Let's draw with a pair
Set of 10s.
on the floor. You
Ace
got all
10,
in.
9.
No. Ace 10, Ace 10.
Ace 10?
I am happy for the character Tony brings to the table, though.
Am I allowed to make Ace 10?
I don't make the rules. I don't have to enforce them either.
Fucking all in. What do you mean?
Thank God.
I wonder what Jungle Man's reaction would have been if Paul had listened.
5-3, I guess they just have it all the time. Flush draw on the flop. He must have it. They just have 3-3. I don't know.
Price Tag says, tell Tony chat supports everything he does. Not sure that one player to a hand moment has caught up with chat yet.
Raise 3-bet. Richard Young says, no, I'm going to put a 4th bet in there. Is he still in government?
He is indeed. I ran into him at lunch. Warren from Party took me over to say hi to Tony, and I hadn't seen him in years, and he didn't remember who I was because he asked me if I was here playing, and I like burst out laughing. And I asked him if he wanted to come into the booth, and he said yes. And I was like, well, how long are you here? He says, only till Thursday. I have elections on Friday. And I was like, oh, man, that's just a classic. Like, how many poker players have ever said I can't stay for the main event? I have elections. So that was a fun moment. Thank you for reminding me of that. My life is so busy and crazy that little snippets like that just fall out of my brain. All right, we got a 4-bet pot. And Tony G.
He's using his time bank. I think he knows he's behind. It's just like,
yeah, of course.
Do I want to gamble? Problem, of course, is if you're behind with 3s, you're way, way behind. He called. He doesn't care.
He's a fun player.
Pot's 242,000 chips. He has 135 behind. There's a 3. Of course there's a 3. Are you kidding me? It's like he knew it was coming. Yeah, and you can't fall.
Boy.
This is just a terrible spot for Richard Young. Once he makes it 110,000 pre-flop, there's nothing else he can do but move all in. There's a smile, though, from Young. Class act.
Maybe 10.
It is funny.
I qualified.
Oh, man, he qualified.
Neither player with a spade in their hand.
9.
Full house for Tony G. Like he knew it was coming.
Right? You would follow that.
Sometimes you just have a feeling.
Well, how much more did he make it pre-fall?
85.
Tony, OMG.
It's true. If you can't rebuy, I would.
It can never be bad if you can rebuy.
I would just call them. If you can rebuy, it doesn't matter.
And you only started with 200, so either you finish the hand with 200 or 400 or 250K. So.
Yeah, he's going to profit either way.
No choice.
Next hand he plays, he'll have more than 200.
Sorry.
It's okay. I'm very happy that you can't.
Guy plays a $125,000 tournament, rebuy tournament, like you and I play a $25 rebuy tournament.
Yeah, no. The way I play a $2 rebuy tournament.
I'll gamble early on and see if I can get a stack. What's another $10?
Shit, it doesn't matter.
What a great spot for this ad and Tony G.
At the end, we don't keep any chips anyway. A short time. Short time, we enjoy them.
Cannot bring home.
No. Cannot bring home, and you cannot bring to your grave either. Nothing. When you bury you, empty pockets. It's only the good times, the good emotions we had. I'll be alive. Maybe a few nice hands. Yana's Ukrainian, you know? Like, from our kingdom, Lithuanian kingdom.
Chat is going wild.
Our country was the biggest. In Europe and over the world.
Tony G involved again with another monster. This time it's 9-6 from the cutoff.
Peters has a flush draw.
He's in the big blind. What's your excuse, Tony?
They've been another nice hand. He's qualified again.
I'm not sure what counts as
Queen?
qualified. 2 cards that add up to 14 or higher.
10 high, by the way, is the best hand.
Peters picks up more draws. Misses them all. And
Tony bet the flop, did not bet the turn.
He's going to have to bet the river.
I would imagine Peters is going to bet first, though. I mean, he can't think 10 high is good, can he?
So good, he's nearly too good to play.
Nearly too good to play.
Don't fall asleep. Just bet up. If you got it, bet up. Take it.
Peters bets 50,000.
Sizable bet.
He might put Tony on a jack.
What do we do?
Maybe.
Maybe. He doesn't talk. He doesn't talk. What's wrong? Why you play? What's the point? Have a bit of fun. What is this?
He's like poker's version of David Brent.
I waste my time banks. You want me to waste your time banks on you now? I'm just thinking how much to raise.
David Peters.
It's calling me like 12,000. Needed a club. Needed a club. One club. Let me choose one. Come on. Come on. You gotta play. You gotta have some fun with me here. Crazy. No fun at all.
He's having fun.
You're gonna take all your money when you die. In the grave. At least show one hand, one card. I'm not asking for both. I even spend the time bank on you.
I want to go on a limb and say that Tony G probably doesn't need those time bank
They're
cards.
too retired. They're too good to play here. They should be playing online.
Play online.
Yeah. Too good.
They don't get to listen to you, though, if they
Yeah,
play online.
of course. They just play perfect.
David was actually telling me that he was looking forward to talking with you at the table just a week ago.
He hasn't said a word.
He's just shy.
Like he needs a counselor or something. Psychologist.
Oh boy.
Just try to enjoy.
Foxen picks up 10s.
See a few flops. See if you qualify. One pan and you can play.
Tony G's, both of Tony G's cards probably don't add up to 10.
I'm loving this qualifier.
Almost.
Oh, sorry, 12.
I want to qualify.
I
feel like you're unqualified.
Of course I'm unqualified. I have to qualify.
Otherwise you would have raised. Yeah.
If the board is good, of course I would raise.
Pair of deuces for Tony G. Pair of sevens for Richard Young. Over pair for Foxen.
Everybody's got a pair now.
I'd have to check that. Let me bet it.
Despite what it looks like, Tony's pair is huge.
See? See if they qualified. Anyone have a 7-6? You win, basically. Get two 7-6. Maybe flush.
Even the dealer's holding it in.
And poker needs characters. Tony G certainly
We'll see more hands. We'll see what
up there with the best of them.
Give me $1 million. I can character the F out of this.
Why? Raising's fun too.
It's not nice because we don't.
For all 7 minutes I'd last.
No, well, then you just need to call and then we see shit.
All right, that's fair. We'll make it like 78,000. I can bet it for you here.
Oh my God.
That's what he said. That's what he wants to do. It's fine, right?
Tony spent too much time in private cash games.
See? Just 10 more.
That's greedy, though.
Foxen does raise it up. Tony's in pretty bad shape, as you can see.
The value, right? Or the pot, you think you can just take it now.
Might as well try, right?
You actually like hit something there. Just have like pair of 8s. Then you have to fold if I push it in.
Probably.
I just put it in anyway because we'd like to talk to this guy. He wants to push me off a hand straight away. I made a bet, you know, I qualified. And you want to push me out straight away. It's insane. If I call, it's got to move all in. Can't just like play.
62,000 over to Tony. Pot's 180.
Didn't quite get the 78,000 raise he was hoping for.
You probably think about that, right?
Funny thing is, normally, you don't think there are that many two-pair combinations for Tony G, but with him, there are.
Who knows?
He could easily have 7 deuce or 6 deuce.
Yeah. I don't think he makes the same move with reaching for Alex's chips if he has a hand that's super strong. I think he actually quiets down a little bit. Foxen calls with the overpair. Time for him to finish the job that Tony G started.
Tough few hands for Richard Young.
Oh, 7 from heaven!
Oh, 7 from heaven, indeed.
I said it too quickly. By the way, if they had gotten to the turn, think about the fireworks we would have seen, because Tony G had spades.
Too many chips. Here? Wants to share.
Tony gave him bad advice to raise, I guess, or good advice.
He wants to set me up. If you just bet it big, maybe you win. Imagine I had a set of deuces there. Easily had.
That would have been bad for me.
Easily. You're lucky. I didn't have enough chips. Lucky I didn't play.
I did get pretty lucky that hand.
You are lucky. Lucky.
You help me one
If
hand?
you're lucky and you know it, clap your hands. If you're lucky and you know it, clap your hands. If you're lucky and you know it, and your face will always show it. If you're lucky and you know it, clap your hands. See, everyone's a winner, Triton.
Yes.
You're a great singer, by the way.
Yeah.
And there's our new commercial.
There's not a karaoke for me here.
Yes. Yes.
How I can't miss.
For you to sing. For you to sing.
I had my first song yesterday, my debut.
Yeah.
Today was closed, private.
Then after you can go karaoke, you invite your movie star, Younger Man,
Oh, wow.
Denim Kid.
Oh,
Oh.
You made the best video.
Yeah, best video.
Yeah.
Maybe doing some show in the karaoke
And I do
later?
I do TV production. So I'm gonna produce you. You're gonna be the Dan Blazarian 100X.
Those are pretty tough.
You're the Bitcoin of Dan Blazarian. You're gonna be.
The Bitcoin of Donald.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm the
In your
Bitcoin.
hand,
and
sorry,
he's
ah.
like the.
Because I think people will think for me. Sorry.
He wants to make a move. There's value, right? This guy's a pro. He's a hardened pro.
Bitcoin
Tough.
and my head's exploding from that one.
Only 15 more minutes. You can take it. Or you can take it. You have to cop it. Oh.
David Peters thinks about it for a second on the button with 10-9. Folds after the raise from Tony G to 13,000.
Power though.
It sounds like something really good. I just still can't really figure out what it.
Well, no one can.
I guess that's the whole point.
Henrik Hecklund been very quiet at this table, finally getting involved in OMG. Tony G.
Test the strength.
Trips for Tony.
If you don't qualify, you fold, right? It's so easy. I'm qualified. I have a pair. Well, then you're going to win. I have to test the strength on the flop. I mean, I have tens. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. That's so sad. That's so fucking sad. Wow. That is so sad.
Almost flopped.
He was this guy. The pro.
David Peters also had a 10 in his hand.
Oh, my God. You were thinking about it.
Yeah, lucky for him, he didn't see the
Where's
flop.
your heart and commitment?
He gave it a real long think. I think about 3-betting.
You can afford 8 rebuys. You make yourself proud.
Sounds like Tony knows the legend of David Peters and the rebuys.
They'll let you play the next one. It's mine, right? You have to try 13.
13.
The best dealer we've had, the best dealer ever.
Tony's what we'd call an alpha.
I was thinking of a different A word.
Latvians, because the Braluks make a good production.
Raised to 13,000. Ooh.
Is he going to do it to him again? That's the question.
Young just calls.
It would be nice for the game. Don't raise too much if you're going to raise. You've got a really nice hand.
Make it small if I do.
By the way, Young is back at the 361, even though even losing that hand, courtesy of the River 7.
Yeah, doubled through Alex Foxen.
And he giveth and he taketh away.
Man, oh man, a 2 here would be so insane.
Birthday party.
Oh my goodness.
You kidding me?
Holy shnikes.
Holy
This
shnikes
is
indeed.
going to be a shame.
Poor Richard Young. I feel for this guy. There's the raise. He's not messing around.
Oh boy.
80.
Foxen is spared any of this. He gets out of the way.
Oh goodness gracious.
Sorry.
Tony puts a
He's
big
all
bet
in.
in there. I don't know who put who all in, but Tony got him again.
I qualified.
Cracked the 10s with trays.
No, 3 and more.
Just throw the white flag in there, Richard.
Richard drawing
You're lucky.
super thin. So sick.
7 from heaven. I'm the best. I made the most chips. The best. I'm the best.
I'm guessing no ace hit.
Sorry.
That'd be a weird dance if he got sucked out on.
Yeah.
I'm the best. Set every flop. Every flop I play, you have to beat a set. That's what you know. You have to qualify, you beat a set, you play with me. No set, you fold.
You're too good. You're the pro.
Oh yeah, I'm the pro.
You come.
All these idiots
I'm
playing.
the pro.
All these
My
idiots
chips.
playing for 8 hours. You just come.
But it's nice, right? It's like at least I have some fun with it. Everyone's so tired, they're putting the money in the bank. I'm just investing it all for the people.
Kind of like the actual G spot. I'm not sure he even exists. Let's switch focus to Daniel Dvoris and Timofey Kuznetsov, who have a similar situation shaping up. Kings versus deuces. And a similar suck out.
Do we think, is True Teller going to be standing up in about 40 seconds doing a dance?
I'm going to take the under on that.
Yeah, I mean, I small bet on a flop and then he calls. Check.
What is happening? Let's just call it. Let's just call it a day here before more damage can be done.
Deucey, never Lucy. It is set heaven here at Triton Poker.
It is a bad day to start with the best hand.
And this is a pretty wet board. Be interesting to see how this gets played out.
I did hear tournament director Luca Vivaldi announce that after that hand there would be 3 additional hands, and that'll be it for the night.
Daniel will thank him for that.
This might be it for the night for him anyway.
How much more does it?
Deuces never loses.
Wow, yeah.
Kuznetsov, true teller,
0.3%.
deciding how he wants to play this hand on the button.
Is this an actual thinking time? I mean, I guess he's got time banks to use if it's the last 3 hands of the night.
My gut tells me he already knows what he wants to do, but he's just taking time to do it. Raised to 66,000.
What do you think of this?
Tough spot for Dvoris. He does not have a king in a king of spades in his hand. It's a wet board.
I mean, it's an easy spot for him, but it's going to be tough once the cards are on their backs.
Right. Well, he knows when he's getting raised here, his opponent's going to have some sets, possibly 2 pair,
Not terrible, right?
and a whole bunch of bluffs.
What I've noticed is, like, when I have it, I don't mind it. And then someone told me sometime to try it next to Heineken. I don't even love Heineken. But, and then I was like, oh no, wait. Oh, really? I don't mind it. I don't mind it.
Remind you the completion of the dividend.
But the thing is that
People were sitting for like the cheap raise.
There's the all-in from Dvoris. Snap call from Kuznetsov. Dvoris drawing the 2 outs.
Pot is nearly 500,000 chips. It is Dvoris' tournament life on the line here. He can rebuy, though.
He can re-enter. Not sure if anyone will re-enter for the last 2 hands of the night or just come back tomorrow with a fresh stack. The turn is a 7. 1 card to come. 2 outs to hit. Not a king. Daniel Dvoris. Just going to do a quick check of the chip counts to make sure he's covered.
150, 200. Yeah, you cover.
And much like my parents' divorce, the man is leaving.
Yes, I know it's mine, but I ordered 2 dishes. That and number 10 too.
Tough hand there for Daniel.
One more hand.
Tough hand for anybody that's up against deuces or trays in the last few minutes here.
Yeah.
No, actually 2 is fine.
I tried to save you. But
Yeah, no, it cannot with 1 also.
Ibinger can't believe it.
True teller on 517,000 chips. Over 100 big blinds.
Just a couple of hands left to play.
Yeah, I imagine we'll come back tomorrow with the blinds at 3,000, 6,000. So for players who register tomorrow, they'll still have, you know, over 40 big blinds. Plenty of play.
That is correct. 3,000, 6,000 tomorrow.
It's what?
for this tournament, it's the highest score.
The latest you can register is at the end of the 4,000, 8,000 levels. So you can come in with a fresh stack at the 5,000, 10,000 levels. So you can jump in with 20 big blinds.
Yeah.
We're talking about beers.
Which one?
Jesus Cortez, pocket eights in the hijack.
Belgium, right?
They have here, yeah.
I've never had this one.
It's very good, yeah. Strong.
I've been to Belgium just once, and I was surprised how like the beer with 8.5.
Yeah.
Like being
Belgian beer might be
so
the best
soft.
beer in the world.
Just tastes like a honey.
Wojciechowski
Duval?
folding an 8.
No. What is
Oh, Duval is one of my favorites. That's
Which
Belgium.
one is it?
I think it's Belgium. It's in
Duval,
I'll show you a
Chimay.
picture of the bottle. You've probably seen the bottle.
Spaniard Sergio Ido thinking, do I want to call this a 10 deuce of spades? Looks like he does. Looks like he's actually going to 3-bet this.
Okay, yeah, I don't think I tried
8
it.
or 8.5 or something, and it's quite good.
Would love to have a beer with Tom Dwan.
Probably make that happen.
You can make that happen?
I don't know if I can make it happen. I'm sure it can happen.
I don't think I've ever spoken to the guy. You're absolutely right, Dave Chuckman. The 3-bet is to 48,000. I mean, that would be a bucket list thing for me. Not so much for Tom, but, you know, I just like beer.
Let's make it happen. 8's in the muck. Wow. Apparently Cortez not confident that he can flop a set too.
Would have been tough. There was only one 8 left in the deck.
I believe we just have 1 or 2 hands left in tonight's action. We'll be back at it tomorrow. I believe same start time, same bet channel, right?
Yeah. 12:30. Cards in the air. Well, 12 o'clock cards in the air. 12:30 is when you guys will be able to see it on a 30-minute delay. Pick up this event, and no event begins tomorrow.
Cortez is going to raise again, this time with ace-jack.
Too much energy.
Was it 12?
Yeah.
Dwan in the big blind. Expect to defend here. Although he's not very deep. He's going to defend anyway.
Are they coloring up the 500?
Seems like the way to go if you're not intent on dropping another $1 million before tomorrow.
Ten high flop. Good news for Dwan so far.
Hell of a thing, that 10 high flop.
The pot is 31,500.
Checks to the razor. This is going to hit the big blind defense pretty hard.
Yeah, Cortez can obviously, go 1 of 2 ways with this hand. But I kind of like betting because there's a lot of turn cards that he's going to like, and the fact that he opened from under the gun, he can rep over pairs.
There are plenty of hands Tom would have to fold right now as well. Yep.
But even if Tom calls once with a 4 or 5, can he take heat? Can he call that second? Obviously he's not folding King 10 anytime soon.
Right. Just because it hits him doesn't mean it's always going to hit him with
Right.
10.
Exactly. Ace Jack's going to be the best hand here a ton, but if Dwan just has a pair of 4s or a pair of 5s,
or a 6-7, he can't call twice if he doesn't.
Yeah, although 6-7 he might just shove, but yeah, I'm with you on all those fronts. I imagine he's debating whether he wants to raise or just call. He's never folding.
He just shoves with the 10. And this hand is going to end with a shove and a fold on the flop. Tom Dwan's going to chip up just a little bit. Down 100K from the 250K starting stack.
I don't need to race. I only have one.
That's it for today, ladies and gentlemen. What a day it's been. Played a whole final table and then started a brand new tournament. And players are bagging up.
They are. What a show here. Let's take a look at a chip count here. Tony G.
No shock there.
833,000. Foxton 509,000. Really phenomenal stuff here at the Triton Super High Roller Series. Welcome into the booth. And what a day it's been, of course, as you mentioned. The short deck tournament with the final table there. Winford Yu wins that in very impressive fashion. That was a lot of fun, too.
A lot of fun. A really hard-fought three-handed match there. Peter Jedden, Ike Haxton, Winford Yu. Crazy covering our first ever short deck tournament. Pretty wild the way the best hand is just ever so slightly the best hand and oftentimes does not win, despite the fact that the edges are almost negligible. Who would have thought?
Clearly, Joe and myself, we are experts now in short deck. No, we're not.
Practically pro.
But, of course, the main event kicked off today, and that's a lot of fun. 1 million Hong Kong buy-in. We have nearly 60 entries. We'll have a lot more tomorrow. Tony G, a lot of characters on this, and we should get a lot more fireworks. We are back at it tomorrow at the same bat time. That's right, 12:30 p.m. Be here for Joe Stapleton, for Randy Liu, for everybody at Triton Poker. Thank you so much for sticking with us. I'm David Tuckman. Goodbye and good night.